Boom! We are live. What is up, Zinger Nation? Happy Friday. How is everyone doing? Markets are getting off to a pretty wild start today. I mean, we were down more than 1% at one point on the Qs. Up in the green now, so we're getting a little midday rally. We'll see if we can hold these gains because, of course, yesterday we were in the green for most of the day and then just had a sell-off in the afternoon for seemingly no reason. Spencer will be joining me soon, and like always, we have a packed show today. Newborn Town will be joining us at 12 p.m., and then Plug Power CEO Andrew Marsh will be on at 12:15. Tim Quast from Market Structure Edge at 12:30. Greg King, the founder and CEO of Osprey Funds, will be on at 1 p.m., and then Options Mike at 1:30. So, again, happy Friday, everyone. Glad to be here with you guys. Let's go ahead and get the show started.
This is Benzinga Live. Spencer Israel and producer AB. What's up, everybody? How we doing?
Someone told me buy high, sell higher.
Let's get Matt Hammond on the show to talk some IPOs. Jake Wojasek from Trend Spider. We have a
breaking news. All right, so first on the docket today, we have to talk. Let's do a quick check-in on Qs first. So Qs right now, as you can see, let me give you a zoom there, barely in the red, 0.04%. Of course, like I mentioned, we were down more than 1% earlier today, so we're getting that midday rally. Checking on the chart right here. Again, I'm really more concerned about, can we hold these gains? Can we go green and hold that into the close? I think that will be a good sign for us as we head into the weekend. But like we saw yesterday, anything can happen. We have 4.5 more market hours today, so there will be time for more reversals. We shall see. Let's see in the chat. What's everyone watching today? Shelly's asking what drove that crash. I don't know if there was anything in particular yesterday afternoon. It seemed like at the very same time, Bitcoin and the markets kind of just took a tumble midday. Let's do a quick check-in on Bitcoin because especially over the weekend, obviously when markets are closed, I think this is what a lot of people will be watching as kind of a gauge on what we can be looking for next week in terms of risk on, risk off. If we do not hold these levels over the weekend, like if we see Bitcoin continue to dip below 38,000, I'm going to be pretty bearish heading into next week. On the flip side, if Bitcoin can get back above 40,000 and we're kind of green over the weekend, I'm going to be bullish next week. So Bitcoin is, I believe, Shelly keeps saying Biden. I don't know. I don't think Biden. I don't know if he came out and said something in the middle of the day yesterday. I don't think so. He did give a press conference the other night. That was very interesting. But yeah, I mean, Bitcoin right now, very important level. If we go back on the chart, right, if we go to a daily on, say, a year out. Okay, so if we zoom out right here, we can see where we're right now. We blew through previous support levels at about right at 40,000, and the next big one is at 30,000. So there's another one right at 35,000. But if we blow through these and get down to 30,000, I'm going to be a buyer of Bitcoin all day long at 30,000. I mean, this was at 60,000 just a few months ago. And we have to talk, of course, the biggest story, two big stories, Peloton. That's interesting. I don't think it's really up 15% today, but I'll get that checked out. I'll get the right numbers. So Peloton, of course, down 25% yesterday on reports from CNN that the company was halting production. The CEO came out and said, hey, that's not all true. We're not stopping production of all of our products. What he did say is they're right sizing. So it does look like they're looking at layoffs and kind of slowing down Peloton's production. But he kind of came out and refuted that report that said all production of its bikes and treadmills will halt. Let me get a refresh in here, see if we can get. Oh no! So Peloton's gone up like 10% in the last hour. Wow, Peloton is up 14% on the day, Following reports, yeah, it halted twice on the way down yesterday, now up 15%. This one you got to watch for the rest of the day. Shelly, let's go. Plug Power's coming on at 12:15. CEO Andrew Marsh, Spencer, and I are pumped about that interview. That's a stock we get asked about from our Benzinga readers all the time. Ticker PLUG. Let's take a look at Plug real quick because I think a lot of these EV names and kind of not even just the EV manufacturers, but these companies that are in the charging stations are very interesting to me because if you think about how many gas stations there are out there are more than 500,000 gas stations in the United States. For the United States, for us to go all electric, we are going to need that many, if not more, charging stations. So any of these companies right now, whether it's Plug, ChargePoint's another one, which it looks like Plug is faring a little bit better than ChargePoint. Blink, you have Blink. I think all of these have potential, right? It's all about picking who is going to be the winner in this industry. You can know an industry is going to grow, right? We know EVs, we know charging is going to grow. It's about finding the winners within those space. So we're going to talk to Plug Power CEO Andrew Marsh today, 12:15 here in about 45 minutes. Let's see, Roy saying his stock of the day was UNH, United Healthcare. Let's check in on that. This stock has been an absolute monster ever since the COVID-19 pandemic. We can see it got down to about lows of 185, highs of more than $500 a share. So United Healthcare has been one of those big winners in the healthcare space over the last couple of years. And again, just like EV charging stations, I mean, this is a space, healthcare, that people expect to continue to grow as the population ages. And you have to go in here and try to find the winners. And United Healthcare is one of those. In the same space, you have Centene got bought out. You have Cerner. See, I mean, you can just see how much better United Healthcare stock has been than Cerner over the last year and a half. We can use this cool tool in here to compare UNH. Boom. I mean, UNH and purple, they both had the COVID dip. But United Healthcare has just been able to outperform Cerner and other stocks in that space. Roy, what was your thesis on it? Like, what was it a swing trade? Are you long UNH long term? Yeah, Gonzalo, I agree. The future of Plug is huge and already started. I think, this space is just going to continue to grow. All right. We touched on Peloton. We'll keep watching Peloton, of course, up 14% right now. Looks to be one of your big winners of the day, but let's talk about your big loser of the day, and that's, of course, Netflix. So Netflix reported earnings yesterday after the close, and all in all, the numbers actually weren't terrible. The main thing that investors are worried about right now is the subscriber growth. So Netflix themselves came out a couple months ago and estimated that they would see 8.5 million subscribers in Q4 of 2021. Long story short, that did not happen. And anytime a company itself is setting out benchmarks and they miss those benchmarks, it's a very bearish sign because companies will oftentimes kind of put out numbers that they know they can beat because it looks good. So for them to put out 8.5 is showing that they were really expecting higher. They wanted to beat that 8.5 number, but only came in at 8.28. So about 8.3 million subscribers against the 8.5 estimated. As a result, Netflix traded down more than 20% yesterday after hours, down more than 20% today. This stock, it's just so huge and it got so expensive that this is one of those that I see as just coming back down to earth on a more reasonable valuation. I would have no reason not to be bullish long-term Netflix. If I'm looking to be in this for 10 plus years, do I think Netflix's stock is going to be higher than 400 10 years from now? Yeah, I do. But right now, is it still a little expensive? Could it move further down in the short term? Of course. We've seen this before with other companies that have legged down on earnings. Let's look at Snapchat's chart. So this was similar a few months ago in September, or maybe October. Snapchat reported earnings, traded down about 20%. And I remember at the time thinking, okay, I don't think Snapchat is really worth 20% less than it was a day ago, right? I kind of was bullish on a short-term trade right after that and expecting a bounce. We got a little bounce, you can see in the chart, but then continued to move lower. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Netflix continue to move lower in the short term. It's one of those stocks that we're so used to just extreme growth in Netflix quarter over quarter that when that growth slows, it really spooks a lot of investors. And it's not to say that Netflix can't get to a point where it's, sustaining growth and growing its revenue, growing its profits without it just having like insane 20% subscriber growth quarter over quarter. And I think that's okay. Like, it doesn't need to be at this tremendous growth rate that we've seen in the past, but there does need to be growth. Otherwise, investors will just not have the interest in it. Okay, Roy's saying he bought calls after news they were surging in the Medicare market. Yeah, I mean, there is so much money in government contracts for not just these healthcare companies, but really any type of company out there that can get government contracts is usually, they're going to be making a lot of money, right? Let's check in on Palantir. Oh, wow. I had no clue Palantir dipped below $14. And this chart does not look great because it has no previous supports at this level. Like, it looks like it has just nothing to keep it from continuing to fall down to this 1050 level, 1150 level. I mean, wow. I feel like the last time I checked in on Palantir, it was still, it was below $20, but I think it was like a $19, $18 stock. Now it's below $14. Is anyone out there in the chat, Zinger Nation, still in Palantir? All right, let's go check back in on the Qs. Oh, wow. All right, so when we started the show, the Qs had briefly dipped back in the green. We kind of had a short-term midday lunchtime rally. Not anymore. The Qs are back down about 0.8%. Again, like I was saying, guys, I was more curious, can we get into the green? And can we hold that? And it looks like as of now, the answer is no. We'll continue to watch the Qs, SPY, of course. Okay, so SPY's only down about 0.4%. Checking on the Dow. In choppy markets like this, guys, the Dow and these value stocks are always going to be your safest. On a day where NASDAQ finishes down 1%, Dow might only finish down 0.2 or 0.3%. So if you're really in a space where you need to take some money, you can't be that risky with your money, then I would start looking at some more value stocks. All right, guys, let's do another quick rundown of the agenda for today. If you guys are just joining us, we have a busy Friday today. Newborn Town will be joining us at 12 o'clock. Then Plug Power CEO Andy Marsh will be joining at 12:15. Following that, Tim Quast from Market Structure Edge at 12:30. Greg King, founder and CEO of the Osprey Funds, at 1 p.m. Options Mike at 1:30. And who knows? We're going to mix in some trivia, mix in some guess the chart, have some fun games. It is Friday after all. Even if markets are in the red, we will have a good time here on Benzinga Live. Please smash the like if you have not already. Yeah, thank you, Roy. Jared, let's check in on STEM for you real quick. I do not know too much about this company, but here is the beauty of Benzinga Pro. I can look at a stock, even if I've never seen it, never heard of it. Go right down here to the overview. STEM Inc. is a provider of energy storage systems. The company bundles third-party hardware with its proprietary Athena software to provide customers a turnkey solution. STEM sells its solutions to commercial and industrial customers, as well as independent power producers and renewable developers. Its solutions help maximize renewable energy generation and help build a cleaner and more resilient grid. Maybe we'll have to talk to Andy Marsh, CEO of Plug Power, about this, about kind of the best ways to store clean energy, because that's long been the drawback, the thing holding us back from really delving into clean energy and pursuing that, is the fact that you can harness energy from solar panels, from windmills, but storing it is another story. And it's easy to store energy in terms of coal, in terms of gas, in terms of natural gas and oil, but a lot harder with clean energy. So I do think companies like this that figure out the energy storage solutions in the clean energy space will be huge companies going forward. With that said, I don't know too much about STEM. Let's take a look at the chart. Yeah, I mean, the chart looks ugly going back to July, but a lot of charts look like this nowadays. We had some support at 16 that we blew through, currently at 13, and there's no support back to $10 where it looks like this was a SPAC. So from a technical level, it doesn't look great, but from a long-term level, I do like these companies. Like I said, any company that can figure out the best ways to maximize energy storage for clean energy will be huge companies. No doubt about it. That's partly why I'm long QuantumScape in my long-term portfolio, is because the company doesn't have any revenue now. It's not doing anything now. It's a shitty stock right now. It's not. You don't need to be a genius to see that. The chart's terrible. It's a $16 stock after it was more than like $100 at one point last year when all those EV stocks were going crazy. But do I think that if QuantumScapes delivers on its mission of revolutionizing the EV batteries and clean energy solutions, will it be a huge company? Yeah. Is it a tiny part of my long-term portfolio? Yeah, it's like 1% of it, because it's like a small bet that this company will grow. Like this could be like a 10 bagger, or it could go to zero. So I see all those plays, depending on how you're looking at them, as just kind of long-term bets as companies that will grow. Catching up with the chat real quick. Storing energy, it's just a pipe dream. I know people have been trying to figure this out for years and years and years, but I think we've made great strides in it in the past 10 years or so. I mean, you have the Tesla battery, whatever that's called, that people have in their garages. You have a lot of companies that are trying to do this because they know, A, how lucrative it would be if you are the one company that figures out, okay, here's how we can store green energy to be used later. And B, they're going to get credit for bringing the clean energy movement strides forward, advancing that whole movement. That's one of the main things holding it back right now. So let me know in the chat, guys, what stocks you guys are watching. Of course, we will do another check-in on Bitcoin, on crypto. Let's look at gold today, because gold's had a pretty strong week, actually. And I'm not usually a big fan of gold because in my mind, there's always kind of more exciting investment opportunities out there. Do I want to invest in gold that might be a little safer, that might get me 5-10% return over a couple years? Or do I want to find that next company that's the stock's going to grow 50%, 100% in a year, 2 years, 5 years? Gold's always going to be there. It's always going to be a safer thing to buy than crypto, than any equity, really, stocks. But to me, there's always more interesting investment opportunities out there. With that said, there's no denying the strength that gold has had over the past few days, and really the week against the equities market, against crypto. Let's do another check-in on Bitcoin. Oh, yeah. I mean, look, I'm telling you guys, it's insane how closely Bitcoin has been correlated to the overall markets, at least NASDAQ, at least growth. Yesterday, we saw it right in the midday when the stock market dipped. Bitcoin dipped as well. Same thing today. Markets were... I've got my man Spencer joining me. Spencer's had a busy morning. He's joining us straight from All Access. If you guys haven't checked that out, the link is available on our YouTube. All Access is essentially where we talk to companies and we get the inside scoop. There's not a lot of places on YouTube you can go for free to get in-depth interviews with company executives like that.
Yeah, one-on-one time.
One-on-one time.
FaceTime.
One-on-one time. But Spencer, I know you've had a busy morning, so I don't know if you saw this, but the market's obviously opened red. It looked like more of the same.
And then it started doing that.
And then it started doing that. We briefly got in the green.
I don't know what that means.
We briefly got in the green.
Does this mean we're making money?
It does until it doesn't, and now we're back in the reds, down 1% again.
I will remind you all that I did say yesterday on this show I wouldn't be chasing anything up here.
You did. I was more bullish. I got faked out. I saw the Qs up like 2%, and I was like, oh, we're good. Like we're back to normal. I was wrong.
Yeah. That's okay.
Hand up. I was wrong on that
broken clock is right twice a day. So. Anyway, it's you know what, today is a good day to a good day to have on the show. It's a good day to have on a crypto guest. We're gonna have I heard you talking about crypto just now. We're gonna have Greg King on the show in like a little over an hour. And Greg King is the CEO of Osprey funds. They offer like cryptocurrency based securities, like not the actual coins, but like exchange traded notes and funds, etc., that are all based in crypto. And I'm very curious, not so much to get his opinion on crypto, because obviously he's bullish, but what I want to know, a guy like that who is the CEO of a company that offers products to investors, to advisors, like how busy is his phone today? Like on a day like today where crypto is, I think it's fair to say it's kind of crashing, right? How is his phone ringing off the hook? Is his email blowing up with people freaking out? That's what I want to know. So we'll find out in like an hour from Greg King. I'm very excited for that. We have Plug Power coming up, Aaron, in like what?
12:15.
Half hour? Plug Power?
Yeah. We were just talking
Excellent.
about that space. I think there's some good there's definitely going to be a lot of money to be made in this clean energy charging space. The question is finding the leaders.
And how long does it take is the question.
Yeah, that's another thing. We've talked about that before too, Spencer. You can be too early on a trend.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to talk to him. We also have Newborn Town coming on in about 10 minutes here at noon. 12:30, Tim Quast, maybe?
Tim Quast, no, he did. He responded to me.
Okay.
Tim Quast, we usually email him. We're like, hey, Tim, can you come on the show today? He doesn't always respond. Sometimes we email him very late. And also, he was out of town, but he's back. He will be on the show today. So I saw someone in the chat this morning asking for Tim. We got you. Tim's coming on. 12.
It's actually a very interesting time to talk to Tim about market sentiment and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And eventually, I just the real question is right now, Spencer, is this going to be a correction or a crash?
Okay, so quantifiably, a crash is what, 20%? That's
I think that 20% is bear market.
That's a bear. Well, what's the difference? I guess.
I'd say crash has to be
what is a crash?
I'll say 20 bear market, 30 crash, 10 correction. Right now we're at 10, 12.
But my question is is a crash does a crash have to happen over the course of a month, or can it be over the course of a year? Because the .com bubble wasn't a crash; it was just a slow march downward for 2 years.
That's a good question. I think a crash has to be a shorter term movement. Has to be a month, 2 months. If we go down 30% in 2 months, I'd quantify that as a crash.
30% in 2 months?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I don't think that's going to happen, but yes, that would be a crash in my book as well. Hey, someone just said, was it Melanie that said free Netflix? I don't have my pro shared on the screen. Let's bring it up right now. Netflix is a little bit of BTFD action today in Netflix.
Yeah, but I talked about this earlier with other companies that have legged down after or had gap downs after earnings, where it looks like, okay, we can buy this now, and then a lot of times they continue to move down from that spot.
For sure. I mean, the Netflix chart.
I will say though, if you bought some Netflix calls today when it was at 380 and it's at 402 now, you've already made a quick few bucks. So yeah.
So a theory that I was thinking about that I first spoke out loud this morning to our guest on Pre-Market Prep is you have all these stocks, and then they all made redonkulous moves, right, since the COVID lows, right? Some of those moves were fundamentally driven, right? Like in Netflix's case, their growth accelerated. And in other cases, the move wasn't as driven by fundamentals; it was driven by sentiment. But regardless, a lot of stocks made big moves. What is to say and I'm going back to 2020 here. What is to say that all of these stocks can't or won't go back to their pre-COVID February 2020 level? Like, look at Disney. Disney is there. Disney is right there. If you bought Disney in February of 2020, you're there right now. You're flat, right? This is kind of a new thing. I haven't really thought through this too much, but this is what I'm thinking about. Like, why can't every single stock that has rallied go back? If all they did was pull forward the growth from 5 years ago to from 5 years from now to now, or to last year, why can't it just go back to the way it was? We saw a lot of stocks hold up. I'm just thinking they can all go back. They all very well might go back. So I'm sure.
Well, I think for certain stocks, it would make sense for those stocks to get back to their pre-COVID levels. I think for other stocks, it makes less sense. I would argue that Disney is one of those stocks that it actually makes less sense because.
Well, it's there.
I know.
Okay.
But I'm saying, like, when you factor in what Disney Plus has done over the past year and a half since COVID, that wasn't a thing for Disney before the COVID crash.
Well, Disney Plus premiered in November of 19, so they just came in before the pandemic. So a lot of their expectations were screwed from the get-go. As soon as COVID hit, they just pulled all that forward. And they reached their milestones like way sooner than they said they would. But the question now is, the growth going forward, is it still there? But this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do this for every single stock we look at. I'm going to automatically go and look at February 2020 just to get a bearing. I don't do that often. I don't make a habit of looking at that time period because March was that drop was so precipitous and violent, and a lot of prices were stupid, frankly. I can say that now in hindsight. It didn't feel dumb in the moment. I'm going to start making a habit of doing that for everything, whether it's Peloton. Speaking of Peloton, we're up 10% today. That's funny. Peloton.
Yeah, the CEO came out and said the report was false.
Yeah, he published a letter last night. Should we look at the letter? It was a look. Whenever I think I've had a bad day, I thought I had a pretty bad day yesterday. My day was nothing compared to the day that guy had. Nothing.
He was probably one of the insiders that sold a bunch of stock, though. So
well, he did.
What does he care? I mean, he's got hundreds of millions of dollars.
No, but when you're the CEO of a company and people's livelihood depends on you, he probably had a very bad day.
The language he used, it was so funny. It's like, we're not halting production, we're right-sizing production.
Oh, well, that's funny how that's what you interpreted. I interpreted it was we're not halting production on, quote, like all of our products. I think he specifically was like, the reports that we're halting production on all products. We're not halting production on all products.
Just most of them.
Just maybe just some of them. No, I don't know. Money Mitch says you should short oil. Maybe. And then just as a reminder, everyone, we have a Fed meeting on Wednesday, so I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means for the market, honestly. If you told me now what the statement's going to say, I wouldn't even know what to do with that information, honestly. I'd probably put on a spread because I wouldn't even know whether to be bullish or bearish. So,
I did just get word that trivia will be ready today, so if you're out there looking for a little fun on this Friday, we will be doing trivia. We'll also do a guess the chart. So
Mitch says he wants to play. Mitch, you can play trivia later.
Not one, but two different opportunities to win some awesome Benzinga swag.
What was I about to say? Oh yeah, the trivia theme. I think it's food. Do you know?
I do not know.
You do not know?
I do know about food.
I think the theme of today's trivia is food. Enver, confirm or deny this fact. We've done we've done stock market, we've done business, we've done holiday, we've done religion. We haven't done sports yet. We've done movies.
We've done religion?
We did a religion themed trivia I don't think you were there for that.
I don't think I was there for that. I would have been like, why did we pick this topic? This
I don't
seems
know. I picked the topic, and then I realized after the fact that maybe it wasn't the best idea. But yeah, okay. So trivia 115 today, I think, is the plan. I think we'll do it after Greg and before options, Mike. So thinking about it, I see your comment. It makes sense on paper, right? The thing is, though, with the Fed is in the last couple of months, at least, maybe just going back to the last meeting, they've been on message. They've been consistent in the very recent past. Maybe like not if you go back to last summer, a different story, but they've telegraphed what they're gonna do now. So like in theory, if they telegraph what they're gonna do and they stick to that and they don't change anything, they don't change the plan, they don't call an audible, then like that in and of itself should protect some downside. If like the market just wants to know. The market just wants to know. And if they come out Wednesday and they say the exact same thing that they said in December, you would think that would be a good thing. Tightening or no tightening. I don't know. Like we haven't been in this kind of environment before where we have Fed tightening and inflation. I mean, we have, but not in my lifetime. So like the last time we were in a Fed tightening cycle was what, 15 to 19, right? 15 to 19. Great years for the stock market. Tremendous years for the stock market. The best, some would say. I don't know if that's true. So tightening in and of itself is not. I guess I'm not in the camp as like it's a doomsday scenario. The wild card there is inflation because we don't really know how do you tighten and combat inflation. I don't know. It's a whole thing. I'm not a macroeconomist. I don't always have a great feel for this stuff, and I haven't seen inflation like this in my lifetime. So I also don't really know. But the more I think about it, I mean, how do you, if you're an investor, how do you combat inflation? Considering Aaron was talking about gold. Gold sucks. Frankly, gold sucks. Okay, let's just throw that out there. Gold is terrible. So how do you combat inflation? What do you do with your money?
You buy assets that appreciate more than
you have to go further out on the risk spectrum, which means stocks or crypto, right? Stocks or crypto, because those are your riskiest assets. But you can't own like growth stocks because maybe you can, but you can't because they're gonna raise rates, and yeah, I don't know. I'm so confused right now. I'm very confused right now. I guess commodities. I guess Shelly's right. Commodities. Whatever happened to the so-called super cycle? Are we in that? Did that ever happen?
Super cycle of COVID, maybe.
Does anyone know? Do we ever enter that? I remember writing articles about the commodities super cycle like 2 years ago. Did that ever go down? I don't think it did. I guess it's commodities. And I guess it's defensive stocks because they're still stocks. I don't know. I know. I found myself questioning because I've got a number of small. You guys know this. I've got like a small ARC position. I've got some small cannabis positions. I'm not selling the cannabis stuff, but I've got like an esports ETF. I've got here I can actually show you what I've got because I keep a watch list on Benzinga Pro of all the things that I've got. Where's my? This is what I've got, right? I've got a 5G ETF. Oh wait, I actually sold I sold a UFO. I can't delete it. I can't click. But yeah, I actually sold a few of these, but I haven't updated it since before the new year. I've got SoFi. I've got Airbnb. I don't know. I do have some cash. I've thought about maybe just like making some strategic defensive purchases, be them commodities. I don't know what commodity I'd even buy though. You can't buy oil now. I don't want to buy gold. I don't even know what I would buy. I don't know. I'm sort of stuck here, but If anyone has any ideas, if anyone's putting any money to work, let me know. I'm very curious what you're doing.
We have options Mike at 1:30. We can talk to him about that.
Yeah, maybe I should start just like hedging the crap out of myself.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
All right,
Yep.
Spencer.
Yep.
It is time for our first guest of the day. We've got Lena Chen joining us from Newborn Town.
Newborn Town.
Newborn Town.
That sounds like the name of a show to me.
It kind of does. It's a cool name.
Newborn Town. Do we know what the Newborn Town does? I guess they're going to tell us.
Lena will tell us it's a Chinese mobile internet company, only available on the Hong Kong market. So if you're in Hong Kong and you're trading stocks, Newborn Town,
Can we
9911. I guess they do numbers in the Hong Kong.
Wait, my first question is going to be if we can get an ADR here in the U.S.
All right.
I'm telling you now, Lena, that's not going to be my first question.
Let's give Lena the special intro and go ahead and bring her on. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good. You?
Good. Thank you for joining us on Benzinga Live. Before we get started, do you want to give our audience just a brief introduction of Newborn Town, kind of what you guys do?
Yes, of course. I mean, first of all, thank you guys for inviting me. So my name is Lena Chen. I'm head of investor relations at Newborn Town. And as for our company, we are actually, the largest social networking growing global company in China with significant growth. And we develop stranger-based social networking applications. It's a little bit like, it's a little bit similar than Match Group or maybe Bumble, but different from them. We focus on live, video and audio-based social networking platforms instead of, like traditional dating apps using text messages or maybe pictures for matching. And we use like real-time algorithm to make social experience alive. Which we consider, as a forward move than those traditional dating apps. So, we in our applications, we combine live streaming, real-time video matching, and we also provide abundance of high-quality contents on our social networking platforms to our users worldwide. And actually, because we are actually a company growing global, we do business outside of China. We don't do business in mainland China, and so our users are really.
So where are your users?
Well, really, around the world, like in MENA, Middle East, North Africa, North America, Southeast Asia, India, Pakistan, and Japan, Korea, and also some countries in Europe. Really,
Okay.
So you guys
more than 100 countries. Yeah.
You must have seen the demand for this online social networking growing tremendously during COVID when everyone was locked down. What was that? Did Newborn Town see a lot of growth during that time?
Yes, actually the COVID really fostered the habits for our users to talk online. They spend more time on chatting with people and they use their mobile phone at home because they can't meet their friends, offline or maybe face to face. So they spend more time and now they become a habit for them and they are really happy with their phone because everything is funny. We have a lot of contents in our applications, and while chatting, they can also spend some time with their friends. By playing games, maybe singing together with their friends, or maybe making competition in our platforms.
These interactions, you said, so they're not text-based, right? It's video-based or audio-based?
Yes. Everything is in live.
That's why I don't know how I would if I could handle that, Aaron.
I know it's very it's like a new age concept.
Maybe I would love it. I don't even know though.
It's like kind of
I don't know.
So Lena, what is localization and what do you guys do on localization at Newborn Town?
Yes, because so far we have already a very in-depth, refined, localized operation team in in 12 different countries and with more than 200 employees already. In UAE, in Egypt, in America, Japan, Thailand, etc. How to say? For example, now we have a portfolio of 3 core social networking products, and for every single product, we have already translated into different languages we tailor different operational activities within the app. For example, when there are different festivals or maybe some events in the local countries, we do different activities. And also in our applications, the design, the UI, and maybe the how to say the contents in different countries are completely different, and depending on the locals' habits and preference, and based on maybe different culture and traditions, we organize online and offline events to foster our brand influence around the world. So we have a team, we have a local team in different countries, and we can have better contents, and we combine with the local employees to make our users stick to our apps and compare how to say compare with other companies. We also have a very
Are,
impressive
are we going to get a? Are there any plans to list in the U.S.?
Yes, in fact, in San Francisco.
No, like I mean the stock. Are there plans to list the stock in the U.S.?
No, sorry.
Okay.
Only in Hong Kong stock.
So Lena, last question: is there, or are you able to just go over the latest voluntary announcement from a few days ago about the fiscal year 2021 revenue and some operating data?
Yes, because we are a company growing very fast, and we just announced our how to say financial year of 2021. The full year revenue is like 2.3 billion to 2.4 billion, which is like double compared to last year in 2020. And also, since we make the IPO in December 31st in 2019, we have already 6 times growth in only 2 years. So also as for our MAU, like monthly active user in our social networking apps, is like we already have 6 consequent growth in 6 quarters. From
Wow. What does the most previous quarter look like in terms of MAU?
MAU in the third quarter of 2021 is around 20 million,
Wow.
and now it's like 22 million in only one quarter.
Wow. So yeah, 10% growth or 10% growth in the MAU over one quarter. Awesome. All right. Well, Lena Chen, head of IR at Newborn Town, thank you for joining us on Benzinga Live.
Thank you.
You know, anytime you guys have updates, love to have you back on. Yeah, and hopefully maybe not in the near term, but hopefully someday we'll have a way to trade Newborn Town in the U.S. markets.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course. Bye bye.
See, we're all about like going off the beaten path. A company like that would like never make it on CNBC. They would never get on CNBC or like a Bloomberg.
No, but the technology, what they're doing is cool. I mean, think about it. It's like matching up live streaming.
I know.
With it's kind of like
you know, it's like chat roulette.
Yeah, it's like chat roulette.
Chat roulette.
Omegle meets Tinder.
Do you remember chat roulette?
Yeah.
Oh my
gosh. I was like 13, and my friends. Yeah,
13. Oh my gosh.
14. Like
I was in college. That was man.
That was the wild west.
That was insane. That should not.
I don't even know if that's still a thing.
We should not have been allowed.
No.
Well, I mean, you were a kid. I was
a kid.
I mean, I was still a kid. I was 18, but
for all intents and purposes, still a kid. But yeah, I mean, it's so essentially. I mean, I'm trying to think about it in my own life, like you know, Tinder, Bumble, but it's live stream and you have live audio and you get connected. I assume with some, like Lena said, some localization, like you get connected with people via the algorithm in your area. Yeah, Shelly, let's hope it's not exactly like Omegle chat roulette. We'll have to do some.
I've never been on Omegle, so I can't speak to that. I've been on chat roulette though, and I hope it's not like that. But gosh, I don't even know. Anyway, all right, so we're gonna have Andy Marsh on in like a couple minutes, so I know that's what everyone's here for. But I think the broader point I was trying to make was like, look, we try to find companies to come on our show that are not, you know, getting a lot of attention elsewhere, because there's so much more to the markets than like the same 500 companies, right? The S&P 500, the Dow 30. There's more to life than that. This is a company that you can't even buy the stock in the U.S., but doesn't mean
Still
they're not
cool
doing,
to talk to
doesn't
them.
mean they're not doing cool stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Also, before we get to Andy, shout out to Zoltan out there. Yesterday, I brought up a new stock, INST and Structure Holdings. We put the ask out to Zoltan to reach out to the company to get an interview. Within hours, not only had Zoltan connected with the company, but actually confirmed an interview for February. So we will be getting Instructure Holdings on the show. I'm excited for that because that's right now like my stock pick right now.
Wait, what? Your stock pick?
Yeah, right now.
I'm lost.
Yeah. Like that. This is the stock that most recently is like top of my watch list. One I'm most
but
interested in.
you didn't tell us what it is.
Instructure Holdings.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm
INST.
sorry. You did. Okay,
Yeah.
I was reading. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was reading something for Andy, and I apologize.
Apology
that went
accepted.
in one ear, not the other.
Apology accepted.
That was.
I don't know, Shelly. He's I don't know. Great question.
Zoltan, I'll tell you how he does it. He lives in a different time zone, so he works off hours. I have no idea. Okay, should we just bring on Andy? I feel like everyone's waiting for Andy. I see Andy in the background. We should just do it.
As long as he's ready.
I think Andy, if you're ready, give us a thumbs up. I think yeah. See, thumbs up. He's ready. All right, that's why you all are here. My phone is blowing up right now with tweets about Andy. So let's get Andy Marsh, CEO of Plug Power, on the show right now. Mr. Marsh, welcome back.
Well, first you can call me Andy. It's good to be back.
Mr. Andy Marsh / Andy, welcome back to the show. Long time no speak. Hope you had a relaxing end, an enjoyable end to the new year, and a happy holidays. As I just said, Andy, I'm getting a lot of questions right now. There are a lot of people that are fired up about your stock right now, and I know there's only so much you can say about that, obviously, because you don't control what the market does, and to some extent, the whole market is doing weird stuff right now. But can you just give a comment on just like the last, we'll call it the last 12 months, because it was about a year ago now when you guys first made that run up to what, like the mid 70s or somewhere close to there. Can you just comment on just like the recent volatility?
Looking back, stocks go up, stocks go down, but you have a great business model. And Plug's been doing this 25 years. We ended the year with $4.5 billion in the bank. We're going to do twice our revenue this year, almost $900 to $925 million. I'm doing it with the biggest customers of the world. We've turned global. It's always disappointing when the stock's not going up. But, if you look around, I think at the analysts, I think we have 15 analysts who have a buy rating, 5 are neutral and only one negative. I think the analysts think this stock's going up. And quite honestly, I'm working every day for the shareholders to make sure it does.
So Andy, from the investing standpoint, we often try to find to identify trends in markets and industries that we think are going to grow. And for those of us like myself that are very certain that the EV market and electric vehicle charging, that market is going to grow, what are you doing to ensure that Plug is a leader in that marketplace and not just like one of a bunch of companies participating in it?
Well, when you take a look, let's take a step into Europe. Plug has been working very, very closely with Renault. Renault, your last guest, you were talking about in China, people don't think of it, U.S., you can't buy the stock, and a lot of Americans don't think about Renault, but they're the second largest battery electric commercial vehicle market company in Europe. And really, fuel cell power vehicles really will have its first impact in the commercial space. We have a joint venture. We have 3 vehicles already together, and Plug owns half the vehicle. And you take a look at that, and you put on top of that we're going to do 10 significant deployments this year with commercial customers. By 2030, we expect to have a 30% market share. That's the plan with Renault. And we're really doing this with people who understand, who have channels to market. But we're not a supplier. We're a partner. We own half the venture. And I think that really differentiates Plug. I think the other key item, why did Renault choose to go with Plug? is because we understand green hydrogen. We're building here across the United States 500 tons of green hydrogen. Nobody's doing that. And here in New York, we're having the largest green hydrogen plant in the world. By 2025, we'll have more liquid hydrogen than anyone else in the United States. We're the biggest user today. I think we understand, just like Tesla understood it was the charging stations in the vehicle, Plug understands it's the vehicle and it's the green hydrogen.
Yeah, be that as it may, that's incredibly expensive, Andy.
Not really, Spencer. Why do you say that? So if you look at it,
I think when I was just thinking about a hydrogen infrastructure, it doesn't really exist yet, right?
Well, Spencer, we've built 165 hydrogen fueling stations already. The food you ate during COVID when you were stuck at home actually probably touched a Plug Power product along the way, where the hydrogen came from a Plug Power fueling stations. If you look at the green hydrogen network we're building out, at 3 cents a kilowatt hour, hydrogen starts becoming incredibly competitive with natural gas. And from a vehicle point of view, if you look at, for example, Bernstein, the analysts have done great work on it and really shows that in mobility applications, because when you look at the energy that gets to the wheels, hydrogen's competitive today.
Okay, there's a lot of questions from the chat. I see you, chat. I'm keeping an eye on you. I don't want to. We're not going to ignore you. I promise. It was just like a couple of more things I have on my list, and then we'll go to you. I guess Andy, all of your shareholders obviously are looking ahead to the next thing, right? So give them something to look forward to.
Well, I would think doubling my revenue is enough.
No. I should clarify. I meant like a specific catalyst or outside of earnings and all that stuff. Is there a specific catalyst that we can look forward to?
Well, I think you'll hear two areas during 2022. One, things people may not think are that important, but are incredibly important for building out the hydrogen ecosystem. We've been spending a lot of time on long-term storage for hydrogen, which could be when you use salt caverns, which is done today in many places at 1 cent a kilowatt hour for storage. And I think when you start thinking about pipelines, and matter of fact, I'm at our Rochester facility today talking to somebody who owns pipelines and talking how you can partner to have hydrogen pipelines to convert the natural gas pipelines. Probably not the sexiest thing in the world to people, Spencer, who are listening, but incredibly important so that you can have lots of vehicles on the road, generate lots of green hydrogen. And I think the other item is that when we look at the electrolyzer market, which is taking electricity to create green hydrogen, I've said, we're going to have a funnel, we're going to have a backlog of a gigawatt. And, you almost, by the end of the year, you can almost think about that as close to $1 billion in just one of our product lines for shipments in the near future after that. I think all that's really exciting. And as I said on the earnings call, I think it could be 3 or 4 times larger. So, when I look at there's only one company that's completely in the hydrogen ecosystem, mainly Spencer. We've been doing this for 25 years. We actually really know this stuff. We're going to be the only person with green hydrogen plants throughout the country. We're going to be I'm sitting at our gigafactory today. We're the only we're the only people in the world that have this. We're uniquely positioned. And I really do believe the climate portions of the Biden Build Back Better is, I think, been in the press, is going to happen. And when that happens, green hydrogen is more competitive than gray hydrogen today. I think policy is really, really valuable to our investors. And I think they'll be really excited, Spencer.
I mean, I can appreciate the 20 years of experience.
I had hair when this started, Spencer.
It's funny, but at the same time, like 20 years and we're only here. You know what I mean? Like it's taken us a long time to get here, but I guess is it a reasonable expectation to think that we should be further, the infrastructure should be there by now? We should be further along the process. It should be more adopted.
So Spencer, probably before you were born, I was working in wireless cell towers in 1982, and nothing worked. And it really wasn't until 1996, 1997 till it really took off. And I got to tell you, this is much more interesting and fascinating than what happened in that industry. And, this is energy, and 20% of the world's energy is going to come from hydrogen. I think you guys are investors. Energy transitions take 50, 60 years. We're 20 years into a transition that allows which ultimately has hydrogen as 20% of world's energy. And look, Plug Power is the first mover with these green hydrogen plants we're building out, with all the units we have in the field today. As we continue to grow, continue to move into more applications, continue to build great facilities like this, this is a great place to be. It's why I'm here today, because it's really something special that we're building for the world.
All right. I promised I would go to the chat, so I'm doing that right now. Gonzalo says, please ask Andy what he thinks will happen while supply chain problems continue.
Yeah, Plug, when you look at my purchasing team today, my head of operation came from Tesla, ran the Gigafactory in Reno. My folks who runs my purchasing organization now came from Tesla. Last year we were able to double our revenue during all these supply chain crises. I think Tesla's people have been amazed what they accomplished during the last year with supply chain. We actually did the same. We shipped twice as many products. And, I have a team now who actually helped drive Tesla to be able to deliver products at scale profitably. So, look, Gonzalo, I got to tell you, it's not that we work it every day. My first call in the morning is with our operation people about what we're doing to make sure we get the parts so we meet our goals for the year, for the quarter, and that really drives us. Good question.
And since you mentioned Tesla, I'll just follow up on that note. The competition is heavy. Not everyone even agrees. I mean, Elon Musk does not agree with hydrogen as an alternative fuel source. He's been very clear about that. But speaking more broadly, you've got Tesla, you've got a number, dozens and dozens of EV automakers and infrastructure suppliers popping up out there. How do you feel about all that competition?
Spencer, it just shows me that people believe it's going to be a big, big pie. It's a big, big opportunity. And as you said, that by 25 years, we've learned a lot. We've put a lot of products out there. We're building a hydrogen network across the states, 500 tons. I think I have a credible head start. So I'm glad there's people who think this is a big market and a huge opportunity. But I think Plug's going to be a dominant winner in this hydrogen and fuel cell space.
But does it concern you that there's still a lot of disagreement as far as in terms of alternative fuel cells, is hydrogen versus electric versus natural gas, or there's still a lot of disagreement there?
I would say, Spencer, I would not be here today, and Plug would not have accomplished what it has accomplished if I spent all my time thinking about the competition. What we think about is what customers are telling us. When you look at people like Amazon, they understand that fuel cells have to be part of their logistic networks of the future. You talk to the Walmarts of the world. I'm working with the largest ammonia manufacturer in the world, and they recognize you need hydrogen to create green hydrogen, a Roscom. So, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about the competition.
Okay.
I spend a lot of time thinking about what people who are actually going to buy our products tell us.
Scott Larson has a question. This was not on my radar, but Scott wants to know about the drone market. I know you've announced some deals with a couple of drone makers and providing the fuel cells for drones. How big a market is that for you right now?
It's a small market, Scott.
Okay.
It's a market that I believe that 5-6 years from now could be significant as it evolves, because fuel cell drones can run 3 times longer than battery drones, so you don't have the charging issues. But it's a development market. It's not the prime focus. We're also doing with our ProGen line. We're working with Universal Hydrogen to put airplanes, regional jets in the air by 2025. We're providing the engines. Those markets are developing. And you learn when you're doing those development markets, because you learn about how to make your products lighter and more efficient. And in many ways, they help your technology development.
How important is profitability right now? How do you think about that at all, or is that not a focus?
No, we do. Look, by 2025, we expect that the company will have 17% OI. With $3 billion of revenue, we see the impact of scale. We see the impact of improvements to design. And it's going to be essentially a linear ramp to there. So, do we think about it? Absolutely. But we also know that scale is the key to allow the company to become profitable.
I'm just going through. I don't want to miss any questions. I'm sure I am. I apologize in advance. I can never get to all of them. I'm going back and forth between my own notes that I have and the stuff that's flying at us from the chat and from my own Twitter account, frankly. Okay, so I guess this will be the last one, and then we'll let you go here. Just to give everyone an overview, what are your largest markets right now?
Well, the largest market today is still putting fuel cells into forklift trucks.
Okay.
Not the sexiest market in the world, I understand that. But electrolyzers will certainly surpass that by 2024, if not in 2023. In 2024, I expect that another big market which will surpass that is the hydrogen generation market, with the green hydrogen networks we're building across the country.
All right, and okay, so a couple quick questions, because now they're flying out, so we'll just do a couple really quick questions.
Sure.
Ask him about potential interest in Accelaware for their efficient hydrogen tech. Andy, you want to comment on interest in another company?
I'm sure they're a great company. And,
be my guest. Can you get into Portmore? Timothy wants
that's
to know.
actually a good question. We are engaged. There's a bill that's passed is the hydrogen infrastructure bill. There's $8 billion. And actually today I've been having conversations about the port in Long Beach with a company that has pipelines in Long Beach, and there's lots of activity going in New York and places like that. Yeah,
awesome. Andy Marsh, CEO of Plug Power. It's been a minute, so it's good to have you back, Andy. Thanks for coming back on Benzinga Live.
Okay, good. Hey, Spencer, always a pleasure. Hope to come back on soon.
All right. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good weekend. All right. Hey, if you guys like that one, drop me a like. I'd appreciate that. Aaron, what are you doing over there? You're trying to talk to someone, but it ain't us.
Sorry, my mic was hot. I was
You had
trying to
a hot
tell.
mic.
I was
What's
trying to
going
tell.
on?
I didn't know I had a hot mic. I'm sorry.
Hot mic.
I was off camera, so I thought my mic was off too. That's on me. Sorry, guys. I was trying to tell Rohan I won't be able to test the thing. I'm joining a webinar at 1 p.m. with Moo.
Okay, so
you'll be in good hands, though.
I'm going to say this now, so we're going to put it out there, and we're going to get everyone to hold us accountable. Next week, we are going to do a remote segment. We're going to have either Aaron or myself. I don't care who, frankly. One of us is going to leave this desk, leave this studio, and go somewhere else. Outside, maybe. A conference room here. The cafeteria. I don't know. Anywhere else. It doesn't matter.
Spencer, I'm just going to come out and say it that why wait till next week? Like, give me 20 minutes and we'll be good to go.
Give you 20 minutes? Okay. So that's Rohan, now we're talking here. The problem is in 20 minutes we have Tim Quast.
We'll do it for trivia.
Oh, do it for trivia?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. How it... Okay. Yes, Rohan, we're doing it. Okay. So, because I've been meaning to test this out for weeks and weeks and weeks. So, Rohan is going to go somewhere else and do trivia from... Can you go like outside or so? I don't know. It might be too bright out there for once, but you'll figure it out. I have faith in you, Rohan. While he's figuring that out, let's bring on Tim Quast, the guy who I think he just solo sailed around the world or something like that. I'm not quite sure.
Solo sailed around the world.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. Tim, is that right? Oh no! Wait, we can't hear you, Tim. We can't hear you. Hold on.
Tim, Shelly, I feel like there was something else you were supposed to hold us accountable about. Shelly, let us know what that is.
Just for the record, I've been keeping an eye on our
test 1 2 3. There
Test. Well, we got you, Tim.
every time that it's laying a trap for me.
The more things change,
So the more they stay the same. That's right. So I am not the sail around the globe solo kind of guy.
Okay.
I am that's an introvert's kind of endeavor.
Oh,
and
right, of course.
I'm not shy, so whatever I'm going to be doing, there's probably going to be a group of people around. Plus, I don't want that kind of vigor. I just want to be able to take the shoes off, the watch off, throw the cell phone in a drawer, and have some painkillers on a lovely Caribbean beach. Or on a boat. That's what we were doing. So we are just back. I still have a tan. See that? You can kind of see it. I've still got the boat beard, but that's what I've been doing, and it was awesome. It turned out to be a perfect time to be gone.
Awesome!
So,
I'm happy you had a great time.
sounds like a great time.
I highly recommend it.
All right. Yeah. Tim, while you were gone, actually, you were gone last week. Last week was kind of a whatever thing, but this week, things are pretty crazy. So I want to know, you've been back, I think, for a couple of days. I want to know, you've gotten your bearings, I hope. I want to know where your head's at right now. What is the market structure sentiment saying?
Well, there are two big words that explain everything that is occurring this
week. I'm going to guess those words.
Okay.
Supply and demand?
No.
Well, that's a good
Options
guess.
expiration.
Ba-boom ching.
Boom!
Spencer
Nailed it.
All right.
Of the big prize. That's right. It is options expirations. I am still stupefied by how little attention Wall Street pays to this gigantic fact that the volumes in options and futures and so on a notional value every day are greater than the volumes in the underlying stocks. And you would think that would get somebody's attention. And that if you have a period between one expirations event and the next one during which stocks decline dramatically, what effect is that going to have on underlying equities if derivatives play so great a role? Well, I think it's a very important traders. You should know this. This is why, Edge Mob, I talk about avoiding the pitfalls of options expirations. If you're going to trade anything there in a volatile period, trade stuff like Pepsi, which has spent the last 30 days at 5. That's the kind of stuff you want to own. It's all the low volatility stuff. But that is what's going on. So let me explain this, Spencer, because I think, once again, it's a very important concept to understand. And I'll use an analogy that we have used before. So I'll keep this short, but I think it's important. Plus, who would we go to understand this? Albert Einstein, right? I mean, if it's math, Albert Einstein said, don't worry about your problems with mathematics. I assure you, my problems with mathematics are much greater than yours. And the market he also said, everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler, which is a funny line if you think about it. But it's math. So here's the thing. Mortgage-backed securities give us a great way to understand what the stock market is experiencing. So for you youngsters who may not know this, back in the early 2000s, there was more demand for residential US real estate than there was available supply.
Right.
And so banks created securitized access to that called mortgage-backed securities, which only have value if future prices are higher. Got that? Mortgage-backed securities only have value if future prices are higher because it's the only way you can expand the size of the pie to accommodate derivative access. Okay, now let's go to the stock market. 20% of market cap depends on derivatives. So if the stock market goes down, has the worst January since 2008, and we are in options expirations. Wednesday were VIX expirations, volatility as an asset class. Yesterday were index options expirations, which are heavily used by passive money as a substitute for stocks. And then today are all the others, plus LEAPs, long-term equity anticipation securities, all expiring. And the market has gone down. What is the value of the exposure via derivatives? Anyone? Anyone? I can tell you, zero. That's what it's worth. So all of that has to come out. Look at Netflix. Why did Netflix drop dramatically? Well, you could say, well, their expectations for subscribers ahead are diminished. Well, everybody knows that. That is not unknown information. We've come through a pandemic where people had a lot of extra money and nowhere to go. So they spend it on Netflix. Now that period is ending. What would we expect? Well, that subscriber counts would be down. But that doesn't explain a $100 drop in the price of Netflix. What does is derivatives. So that's what's going on. Options expirations reflect the ability of the market to support value that does not exist. If the market's going up, it supports it just fine. If it's not, it does not. And that's what's happening.
That stat in the chat that I can't corroborate, but sounds believable to me. $3.3 trillion worth of options expiring today. Tim, I mean,
sounds right.
Come on, like the whole when you compare us to the housing market that had major fundamentally structural flaws, as you said, the entire house of cards hinged on prices rising.
Yeah.
It's not quite apples to apples.
Correct.
Yeah.
The reason it's not quite apples to apples is because the options and futures and contracts for difference and so on that are tied to the equity market have much shorter periods of time. So that the real estate market is a large asset class that is not liquid. The equity market is also a large equity class or asset class, but it's very liquid and these periods are very short and they can very quickly sort themselves out. So there tends to be much more violent moves that can sort themselves out much more quickly than the real estate market. But the principle applies. It's just something that someone should understand, that if you're going to trade in the equity market, realize there are people who invest in equities. There are a bunch of machines that are only concerned about how prices change today, and there are a bunch of derivatives, right? Those things are all going on. And if you only think that people are investing, you're going to get destroyed by the equity market. It's very important to understand that those other things are going on. And the beautiful thing is, it's all very measurable. We know when it's going to occur. What we didn't know in the real estate market is at what point prices would stop rising. In the equity market, we always know when options are going to expire because the Options Clearing Corp publishes the calendar, right? So we can know what's going on.
Right. But and then just to clarify this point in the chat, no, the market does not always go down into options expiration. Let's just be clear about that.
Correct.
So Tim, the reason that's happening now, though, I mean, there's many reasons it could be happening, but what you're saying before really comes down to just the size of this particular derivative cycle.
And I think the important difference here, if we're talking about a control set and a variable, what is the variable in this particular month from December options expirations to now? The variable is that the market declined. That's the difference. Really, that is it. And the market declined materially. Right? So the Nasdaq is in correction territory.
It is.
Fully 20% of the S&P 500 is down 13% or more. So that is why the reason this has become so dramatic is because of the decline. And then you have to just think about the very briefly survey form. What are the mechanics behind the scenes around derivatives? Well, you have everybody from you and me, maybe buying and selling options. So I might sell a put or a call to generate a yield, a premium. I want to increase my returns. I might buy them as an opportunity to make money by exercising them at an advantageous price, either up or down. I might use them as a substitute in an index where I don't want the hassle of buying an equity basket, so I just use a futures contract. And then hedging. I'm hedging my exposure to unexpected market moves or industry or sector moves. All of that is going on. So all of that is impacted. What if a bank is backing a bunch of that stuff? And the stuff was a hedge against market declines. Well, now that bank is going to have to sell assets and raise money in order to cover its obligation. And the same thing would be true on the hedge fund side if they bet the wrong direction. So you have to think about that. The reason stocks go down isn't necessarily because an investor says, oh, I'm scared and I'm selling. What if it's, oh, I now have to pay a huge bill and I'm going to have to look around and say, well, I've got a bunch of NVIDIA I can sell, get rid of that. Well, then people, why did NVIDIA go down? Well, it's because it's an asset somebody can sell. So all of that the good news is it's very measurable. That's what we do, by the way. This is what we've been doing. I've been doing for 16 years, measuring these behaviors. How much of any given thing at any given moment is dependent on derivatives versus investment behavior. And so I think it's an important thing to understand. I'll tell you this. Here's my problem with Netflix and all the corporate executives and investor relations departments and public companies who report results during options expirations. That is inexcusable behavior. It is inexcusable ignorance to put your shareholders at risk like that. Why would you not wait until options have finished expiring and you greatly increase the risk for a speculator to move your price because there's no time decay next week? Now it's all decay.
Well, there is. I mean, there's weeklies, Tim. I mean,
sure,
but it's
but
not.
That's a small part of the market. It's nowhere near the size of the monthly market. An index and a hedge fund aren't going to be using weeklies. Speculators use weeklies because they're not committed, right? You may too, right? But we speculate when we do that. The much larger application is, and I look, it's not 1995. In 1995, public companies, you wanted to demonstrate your ability to close the books, so you want to get out in the second or third week of January and report your results. That's not how the market works now. So stop doing that. I think it's inexcusable for a CFO to be reporting results during options expirations. That's like, as I've said before, that's like trying to give a speech over a leaf blower. There's no point to it. So wait, get out of the option. It's the first thing we teach public companies. Stop reporting results during options expirations because you're just handing a softball to somebody to knock out of the park that is speculating on which way your stock's going to move. Well, reduce that risk. There's no excuse in 2022 for any public company to be doing that. And I broke news right there.
No, I mean I appreciate that. I'm gonna get that turned into an article right after we're done here, Tim, because that was some great stuff. I just want to call everyone's attention to the link I put in the chat right now. It's not a Benzinga link. This is a resource that I use. It is just a trading calendar for the year. I look at this, I don't know, every couple weeks. I try to keep an eye on this. You know what I mean? I try to keep an eye on upcoming holidays, options expirations, index rebalances. This calendar has all of that. So I just put the link in the chat. I really do recommend you just bookmark that guy like I have, because every few weeks just check in, see what's coming down the pipe.
That is market structure, Spencer.
Yeah.
That's teaching people how to understand the market the way it works today. Good stuff.
Okay. Tim, can we share your screen for a second? Can we look at the overall market and supply and demand? And
we could look at plug power if you want. You had plug power on. Let's look at it.
well,
right?
let's start with Netflix. Actually, let's
Okay.
just start with Netflix. I think that's
Okay.
relevant.
I think it is too. Okay, so briefly, you will see me. We'll hide this and we'll go over here. And so you should see my screen. So this is a 30-day view of supply and demand for Netflix. So for anybody new, the top chart will show you price. So this is price. This is Netflix closing price. And then this green thing here, that is demand. And we use a 10-point scale. And what it's doing is taking the purposes behind buying and selling stocks and aggregating that and seeing how it surges and wanes and affects price and volume. And that then down below is what we call the supply chain of the marketplace. This is short volume. It is borrowed stock or created stock. And so what do you first notice here? Well, number one, demand is very weak. I mean, Netflix has spent a lot of time. It's not been a 10 at all the past 30 days. Very weak. It's a 1 now. It literally cannot go lower on a scale than 1. And then the supply side is rising. Well, if there's no demand and the supply is rising, what will the price do? Decline. It's just the most basic economic concept of all. And notice right here, right? And this is through yesterday. This is before the drop that we're seeing now. You would already know this. You would know, well, it's a miserable 1 and short volume shot up. So everybody in the know bet short and it's already no one's buying the stock. So is this a good time to buy Netflix? Well, of course not. What you want to see is a decline in the supply side and an increase in the demand side. When that happens, when that divergence occurs, that's your opportunity, traders. And it's very easy to see. It's a simple concept to understand.
Yeah. All right. So the chart, following demand is pretty self-explanatory here. So let's basically the bottom line is any way you chalk it up, it doesn't look great. And to your point, Oz in the chat that yes, you can buy Netflix for cheaper today than you could have yesterday if that's your thing.
True enough.
Go for it.
Don't trade price. Don't trade price, Oz. That's what all the machines want you to do. Yeah. All the high frequency traders that buy your order flow want you to trade price. I mean, it's gone down dramatically. I mean, surely it's got to be a good buy. No, supply and demand will tell us what it is. Okay, don't be fooled. Who cares whether you capture the bottom perfectly? What you want to do is increase your probability of producing a return. I always say take gains, not chances. And how do you do that? Well, if the supply demand equation is in your favor, then you've dramatically increased your probability versus everybody else in the market that you will get a return.
A couple more tickers from the chat now. Let's look at GM and Tesla.
Okay.
And then we can do plug after that.
Okay, we'll have a look. So once again, we're looking at the 30-day chart here, and it's not right away. What do you
falling demand?
Falling demand, rising supply. Not the right time. Options expirations. Let that sort out. If those things reverse, there's your entry point. And you can really see this. Look at this. Rising demand, falling supply. What happens to price? It shoots up. Once it peaks and short volume shoots up, take your money and run. Take the money and run, as the great philosopher Steve Miller says. Just take the money. Then you can, that will tell you right away. What you have to do is be quick. If you get those gains 1, 2, 3, 4 days and look at short volume, it's way above trend. Take it. Just go. It's already telling you the opportunity is done. Then wait for the next one. Who cares what price you pay so long as when you sell it, the price is higher. And all you want to do is increase your probability of that. It's not complicated. We're making it as simple as possible, but not simpler, as Einstein would do.
Tesla next. Tesla, okay. I don't know if I can guess this one off the top of my head.
That's good. I mean, Tesla's actually not bad. It's got one problem, and you'll see it right away. So what is that problem? There's during options at all stop. What is the problem?
I mean, it's got rising supply. Wait, what? Rising supply and rising demand?
Exactly. They will cancel each other out, right? So if demand rises, but so does supply, prices don't change.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem. And look, prices staying the same.
Yeah.
But it's not. That's why it's outperforming the market. It's because there is more demand for Tesla than the average stock in the market where there's very weak demand. Now we'll look at it. I think we should look at Pepsi as a great counterpoint to what's occurring elsewhere. But once again, you could say, well, here at 10, when Tesla was at 10 and short volume drops, there's a probability of some gains in there. The best point though is back here, right? When demand rises and supply falls, particularly below trend, you know you're going to get gains. Once it hits 10 and short volume pops above trend, take your money and run. The same principle applies all the time, always. The only time it doesn't work is stocks less than $8 and lower. There's so much standard deviation that it gets very challenging. But as a rule, it's a very good principle. So if I may, give me one, but let's.
Okay, Pepsi. Yeah,
Pepsi
sure.
really quickly.
I'm gonna guess. Let me just take a while. I'm not looking. I'm gonna guess that like maybe demand is just starting to peter out. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, hey, I got that one without even just by having the price chart in my head.
It's right. So it's still though very good, right? Here's the thing: if you want to, the reason that Pepsi was a great thing, and I traded it during options. I very rarely trade stuff, but if I think the market's going to go down, then maybe I'm going to put it in something that is a low volatility position, which I will find by screening. You can very easily screen. I just went and screened for stuff, spending a lot of time at 5. And no, it's never been below 5.
All right.
The whole
Yeah,
30
it's
days,
not really petering out, but it's not rising. All right, I kind of got that.
Exactly. And then look at the supply side. So we know going into this, what this tells you, traders, this is what you look for. What are people buying into options expirations? The decline in short volume will tell us which direction market makers are going, because they know. The market makers, the Goldmans to the Hudson River Tradings to the Citadels, all of them will know, oh, this is what people are buying. I'm going to make sure I'm long that. And so it's going to show up in the data, and you can use that to your advantage. So you sit there through options expirations. I'm going to own Pepsi and get 1%. That's all you need. That out the other side, let's do something else. Plug Power, or did you have something else?
Yeah, no, that was it. That was the one.
Okay, let's look at Plug Power. And Plug is well, you can see it's been very, very weak from a demand side. They're spending almost all of its time at 1. The supply side, the trend is down, but it's still almost 50% of all volume is coming from borrowed or created stock. Well, it's very difficult for the stock to rise. If we expand our time frame, let's look at where it was a good time. I'm going to go back 90 days. Let's just look at 90 days. Well, there's your opportunity, right? When demand rises and supply falls, there's your entry point. And you can own it the whole time that it's above 5. Once it drops below 5, you're out. I like to sell at 10 myself.
Let me ask a question, Tim. I don't know if I've ever asked you this before, but this data we're looking at, is this updated daily?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I wasn't sure about that.
It's T+1 data. So you're a day behind current prices. But current prices, remember everybody, current prices are set almost wholly by market makers. Every trade in the market is represented by a broker dealer. Both sides of the trade, that's the regulatory structure we have. It's a market maker model. So today's prices are obfuscation. What you want to know is take a long step back and look at what is the trend? What is the supply demand trend? And that's what we're much more concerned about than what the price does today. Yep.
Awesome. Tim Quast is this guy's name. He runs MarketStructureEdge.com. He joins us every single Monday on pre-market prep at 8:35. He joins us also once a week on this show on days where he's not sailing the 7 seas or hanging out on the beach. So we will have Tim on Monday morning.
I'll live from Austin. I'll be down in Austin. So I'll catch you.
I thought you said Boston. Austin. Excellent. Keep it weird, Tim.
Yeah, we will. But that's easy for me. It comes very naturally. Yeah. Good to see you.
MarketStructureEdge.com. The link was on the screen. The link is in the description. I highly recommend it. You're getting some great feedback from the chat. Actually, I can't resist. Let's do one more. Let's just do Peloton. I can't resist.
We have to, right?
We have to.
I love my Peloton. And not just the bike. I did a fabulous 10-minute floor workout. It's all your body weight, and I'm sore from it. The Peloton is awesome. I mean, I love the stuff they do.
I've yet to hear negative feedback on the actual product.
It's a fabulous product. I mean, it just they do outstanding stuff. They have the whole problem that tech has had. Tech was, I think, I go back to the real estate analogy. There was a bunch of the equivalent of mortgage-backed securities in tech since the pandemic. And it has a whole ripple effect. As the excess demand diminishes, then the reliance on derivatives goes away, and that comes out of market cap, and then high frequency traders short it and change the price, and that causes people to hit stop losses, and then asset allocation models, because volatility causes tracking errors, get rid of them, and the whole thing compounds into Peloton going from 150 to 23. That's what happens. But you can look here in the 30 days, miserable. It can't even get to 5. And look at the supply side right into results. Everybody bet short. Right? You're going to see that. If you want to know what's going to happen into results for a company, look at what the money is doing before we get there. Because I'm telling you, this is what hedge funds do. Hedge funds produce 2/3 of their returns, if they're event driven, around earnings. And they're going to tip to what they're doing just this way. You can see, all you have to do is look at the supply side. It will tell you which direction people are betting, even though that supposedly no one knows. Oh, yes, they do, because they use prime brokers like a Goldman Sachs, a Merrill, a Morgan, a JP Morgan, and so on. And they're going to hedge their exposure to whoever they're serving. And they will tell us which direction those bets are going, and there you have it. Now, Peloton will be awesome when those things reverse. Supply goes down, demand increases. Don't trade till then. It's that simple.
All right. We'll talk to Tim again on Monday. Tim, have a great weekend. All right.
You too. You guys take care.
Stocks all day. It goes without saying, aside from the child or young children who died, yes, that obviously was tragic, and I was not thinking about that when I said that comment. But I meant from like actual like Peloton users. I've yet to hear a negative thing about the treadmills or the bike. Okay, so we're gonna have Greg King on in a couple of minutes. A great day to talk to the executive of a company that has crypto-based funds, right? They give, if you want to own crypto, but you don't want to actually or you can't actually, go and buy Bitcoin or buy Ethereum, whatever. Greg King's company, Osprey Funds, lets you do that. But I'm really excited to talk to Greg today about what it's like on a day like today, where crypto is doing what it's doing. And let's look at that real fast. Let's pull up my heat map here. Let's do a quick crypto update and get a sense for where the crypto market is right now. Where's my fancy schmancy sound effect? There it is. So yeah, that's where we're at. We're red across the board. Again, as I said a couple hours ago, I'm really only watching two numbers. I'm watching 40K and I'm watching 3,000. 40K for Bitcoin and 3,000 for ETH. That's what I've got. That's all that matters to me right now. Greg King, though, is much more of an expert in this than I am. So I'd be very curious to hear what he has to say about the crypto market. Obviously, he's a long-term bull, but I want to get his short-term thoughts. So we will do that in a second, in a minute or so when Greg joins the show. In the meantime, I wanted to remind you all that tomorrow, yes, tomorrow is our next virtual Benzinga event. Yeah, I'm talking about the Benzinga Boot Camp. Here's the thing. I'm putting it on the screen right now, and I'm going to put the link in the chat. A full day of education all about options. We just spent some time talking about options expiration, how that impacts the market. Tomorrow, 9 to 5, all about options, all day. Here's the link. It's in the chat. Boom. There it is. Check it out. It is free to attend. I should add that. It's free to attend. It says it right there. RSVP free. It's in a big green button, right? I think it's pretty obvious, right? Expert analysis. Neil Hamilton will be there. Luke Jacoby will be there. Danny Devon, Mark Petrino, Danielle Shea, Anne-Marie Band, Andy Cole, Gianni DiPoci, Chris Capri, Matthew Timpane, Chris Capri again, Sia Nazari, Nick Shaheen again, Brett Simba, and then Neil and Luke will wrap up the day. Again, these are experts that you see on our shows. These guys and girls know what they're talking about. They are professionals. So again, check out the link in the description, or just go to benzinga.com/events. But I highly, highly, highly recommend. Shelly, don't worry, we're not starting trivia just yet. Don't worry, you have the 20 minutes. There's the link. Yeah, you know that's. I'll give you a cleaner link. That's not that clean. Let's give you this link. It's benzinga.com/events/boot-camp. There it is. There's your link. Sign up for free. Seriously. The difference is, if you don't sign up, you will not be able to get access after the fact. If you sign up, you will get access to the recording, as I understand it. But if you don't, then you won't. That's simple. Seriously. We do these once a month. I think once a month. Is it once a month? I don't even know anymore. Pretty sure it's once a month. Anyway, check it out. Okay, so let's take that off the screen now. Let's do this. While I wait for Greg, how much? How much for the little girl? I don't even know what movie that's from. Ronan, it's 0. That's how much. Should we play a quick Wordle while we wait for Greg? Let's play. I haven't played Wordle on stream in days, so let's play a quick Wordle right now. If you don't know what Wordle is, it's the newest, hottest social trend there is. It's a fun word game. Here we go. You get 6 guesses. There's a word of the day. We have to guess the word right now. That's what we're gonna do. We got to guess the word with no clues at all. So I always start with the same word. I always start with the word audio because it's got 4 different vowels in it. Okay, so we have an I. The yellow means we have an I, but the I is in the wrong place. It's not there. That's good to know. What if I made it bigger? All right. Let's go with like. Is that a word? Sire? That is a word. Okay, we have an I in the middle, and we have an R as second to the last letter. That's all we've got so far. What if we guessed R? No, let's do like CHI. So I know there's no. I was not going to guess that. Okay, so let's do. There's no E. Let's do like crimp. Let's try crimp. Oh, now we're getting somewhere, everyone. We have an R correct, I correct, and we have a C and a P. So we have 4 out of our 5 letters. Awesome. So let's put the P up front. Let's do PRI. Let's do prick. Boom. Nailed it. That was Wordle. I'll put the link to that in the chat if you want. It's once a day. That's it. Look at those skills right there. I've not played today. You guys just saw that. You guys just saw. I've gotten a lot better in the last couple of days. Boom. Nailed it. All right. It is time for me to email Greg and say what's going on, man. Also, where the heck did Aaron Bree go? Look. He just disappeared.
Aaron Bree is running a webinar right now.
He's running a webinar right now? Can he run it on our show? Wait, Rohan, where are you right now?
At my desk.
Oh, okay.
I think Aaron is, by the way, like, he'll have to do some fixing a little bit, but this is what he looks like right now. He's there wirelessly.
Oh, that's epic. That's epic. Aaron Thomas. We can't hear him though. Okay, this is gonna be like how they do it when with the TV thing. Like, all right, stand by. We'll come back to you in a few minutes. I do need to email Greg though, Oh, did I send him the wrong link or something? This could be a Spencer error. This could be a Spencer error. Let's try that. Thank you, Damon. Hit the like button, everyone. Thomas, I know, man. Thomas, these are the days where you have to not look. I'm serious. Don't even look at the long-term stuff. Like I've got two accounts. I've got Fidelity for the long-term stuff. I've got Webull for the short-term stuff. I don't even look in my Fidelity account today. Don't even look. Just save yourself the grief, okay? Just so that's what keeps me. That's what keeps me not panicky. Is not looking. Then again, I have a stunning ability to ignore my problems, so maybe this is not the best life advice. I don't know. Maybe it is good. It's good investment advice, bad life advice. Who even knows at this point? Bree will be back. I don't even know when, but he'll be back. He warned me at least that he would be gone for a little bit today. So here you are, stuck with me again. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I'm just catching up here. All right. Well, we're waiting for Greg King to join us. I hope he can join us because I really want to talk to Greg about crypto today because we're going down. Let's just pull up Benzinga Pro as we are wont to do. Never leave that. Never stray too far from the Pro. Rule of thumb. By the way, guys, if you want Benzinga Pro for free, just sign up for a free 2-week trial if you're not already a subscriber. Everybody gets Benzinga Pro for free at first for 2 weeks. Seriously, pro.benzinga.com. Cannot recommend this thing enough. I use it. I live off this thing. And I'm not just saying that because I work here. I actually do live off this thing. I use it when I'm at home. Pro.benzinga.com. Okay, let's get to our guest. I see Greg here. Greg King, as I said, is the CEO of Osprey Funds. Very relevant day to have Greg on the show. Let's bring him on now. Greg, I think I sent you to the wrong place on the internet, so I apologize.
No problem. It's a big internet, you know.
It's a big internet. It's a big place. My first question for you, Greg, is I'm wondering just like on a day like today, where the crypto market is meltdown is a strong word, but it's definitely going down with some nice pace. What is the mood like? Is your phone ringing off the hook? Are your emails blowing up? Because you offer instrument securities that are popular among advisors and that sort of thing, and so like, are they banging on your door right now, being like, Greg, what's going on?
No, we haven't had anyone show up at the office yet, but no, you do get a few more calls and emails, and people just kind of want to hear your thoughts on what's going on. But today's a bit more severe than other down days in crypto, but we're definitely used to the volatility around here, and I think most of our clients are as well. We're in a space of let's call it at least definitely some consolidation.
So explain what exactly Osprey Funds offers.
Sure. Yeah. So we have 5 funds. My background is with ETFs and ETNs. I've been doing it since I can remember, early 2000s, and have launched over 100 ETFs, ETNs, and other exchange traded products for Barclays, Credit Suisse. First company I founded was Velocity Shares. And with Osprey, we wanted to bring that same approach to crypto, at least to start. And so we have a Bitcoin trust. It was the second product to come out. The only other product to sort of compete with Grayscale and their very large Bitcoin trust. Our product is OBTC, is the ticker. But we also have 4 funds in what you could kind of call the incubation period. So as you know, there's no ETFs, there's no proper ETFs in crypto in the US, right? So what you have are these exchange traded trusts. They actually trade in the OTC market under a ticker symbol, but they have some features that are different from ETFs. They are closed-ended, and the buyers have to be an accredited investor when they're buying at the NAV from the issuer, and those folks have to hold for a year. But once they do, they're able to sell in the secondary market, and that's what gives rise to that premium or discount that takes place in the secondary market. So we're the first to have a Polkadot fund, an Algorand fund, a Solana fund, and a Polygon fund. And all of those are sort of in their first year of existence, and we expect to get ticker symbols, hopefully, starting pretty soon. And so once we have those products out, they'll be trading under tickers in each case. Assuming we get all the approvals we need, which we're pretty confident in.
So for those who don't know, can you explain like the closed-end fund structure, or what does that mean?
Yeah, so closed-end funds are a thing under the 40 Act, right, where you have like a mutual fund that is, where capital is raised over, a month or so, and it's underwritten by a bank, and let's say they, close on $500 million, it's put into a fund, and that fund trades under a ticker symbol. It's called a closed-end fund, and it typically trades, at a premium or a discount to fair value, depending on market dynamics. These are not closed-end funds, but they sort of operate similar. What they are is they're grantor trusts, which is really just the same structure that, for example, State Street uses for its gold ETF, the GLD. We aren't allowed to operate what's called a redemption program, meaning simultaneously offer the shares of the fund for sale and buy back. So the fact that ETFs are able to do that is really because they get an exemption from the rules. And so what you have when you have a closed end, meaning people can't redeem the fund units back to the issuer, is the only way to sell them. It becomes in the secondary market under this ticker symbol. And for years, that meant that the products tended to trade at a premium. But I think in the case of Bitcoin and Ethereum, the assets that came into those funds were just overwhelmingly huge. I mean, there's 50 billion at one point was in the Bitcoin fund, the Grayscale Bitcoin fund.
Yeah. So I'm sure I can guess your point of view here, but what do you make of the SEC's continual punting of no, I guess rejection it's a rejection. They've rejected every single application they've gotten for a Bitcoin ETF, a spot ETF in the U.S. What is your take on that?
I mean, it's pretty complicated. I think at the end of the day, the SEC wants to be good and sure that nothing comes out on their watch that they weren't completely prepared for. And I think with crypto, there's still unknowns. One of the main ones that they require is the ability to essentially figure out what happened if there's some, for lack of a better way of putting it, funky trading, right? Mm-hmm. And so you have surveillance measures. I mean, this is behind the scenes, but almost everything else that gets listed in some way, shape, or form, the SEC could find out who was behind a bunch of trading if there was something suspicious that happened. And because the underlying assets here, Bitcoin, let's say, trade, 80% offshore over the weekend, et cetera, they don't really have a view into those markets. Now, they got comfortable with futures because clearly they have a view into the CME, but at the end of the day, raw Bitcoin, which some would argue drives the futures market anyway, so that's a bit of an inconsistency, but underlying Bitcoin markets, they really don't have a lot of jurisdiction over. So that's the largest, I would say, remaining hurdle. Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't know how that changes unless all the volume leaves Asia and comes to the US, really. So I'm not sure how that's going to evolve, but yeah, they've been kicking the can for a while.
So Greg, the opportunity that you saw, right, was, hey, there aren't really any securities or instruments that the advisor class has access to. There are some, but really not many. So like you've launched some securities to fill that void. But I'm just curious, like, and I'm gonna bring up the charts, the product page back up on the screen there. Like Bitcoin, that's one thing, right? But like Polkadot, like. Do advisors even know what that is? And I'm generalizing here because obviously some of them do, right? But like, a lot of people don't. Algorand, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
So I'm just curious, like why you decided to go after those cryptos.
There's something about skating to where the puck's gonna be, right?
Okay.
So our philosophy is, if folks watching don't know, both Solana and Polkadot, I mean, I haven't looked at it today, but are in the top 10, right? So these are not like, coins that nobody's ever heard of.
Yep.
Our focus has been on what are called layer one projects. And so if you take a step away from Bitcoin for a minute and think about Ethereum, I think most people who are reasonably conversant with crypto understand that Ethereum is a platform, right? It is a smart contract execution platform. It enables a lot of things to happen, DeFi, NFTs, etc.
Sure.
All tap into the ETH ecosystem. But ETH isn't the only one, right? You have Polkadot, Solana, Algorand, some others kind of challenging Ethereum for that role and specializing in different aspects of that role. For example, Solana is trying to be basically the fastest out there, right? Algorand is trying to be the fastest and the safest at the same time. And Polkadot is almost trying to be like a layer zero where it can host a number of layer one platforms and enable interconnectivity and communication between those chains. And so, we have to allocate our resources in terms of product development, in a way that's, corresponds to the fact that they're finite. And so we have to choose what we're going to launch, right? And we don't want to just launch anything. So our research says that, there's thousands of cryptos, right? There's going to be hundreds of thousands or millions of NFTs. There's like, one or two handfuls of layer ones, right? And it's hard to predict who will win. I think the digital substitute for gold battle has probably been won by Bitcoin, but the best, DeFi platform battle, Ethereum's in the lead, but I don't think it's won. I don't think that game is over. The best NFT platform, the best, whatever the next applications are. And so we're trying to create the infrastructure that'll enable people to build portfolios of these things and at least hold, a basket. And we do have index products that we're working on. I think it's a little early to index the space because things change so quickly, and certain coins and tokens, frankly, aren't tradable for U.S. investors and things like that. So.
And that's the point here, right? Is like not everyone can open up a Coinbase account or get a crypto wallet, right? But again, these products, these securities, as Greg said, they trade OTC, so they trade in the U.S. And most retail brokers will give you access to them, and that's the idea here. I'm just curious, Greg. Last one, and then I'll let you run. How much do you have to explain to your clients like the market here, the behavior, what to expect? I'm just like, and setting the expectation as far as this is a volatile market.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly always part of the discussion, and you have you have the volatility, and then when these products trade in the secondary market, you have the premiums and discounts that can develop, and those can either make it more volatile or less, depending on kind of how they're waxing and waning, right? So educating investors is important. Just to be clear, we have the Bitcoin product, which has a ticker OBTC. That's trading.
Okay.
The other four are pre-ticker. They do not have tickers. So the only way to get them right now is direct from us. You can go to our website if you're an accredited investor, and you can purchase units in those funds at NAV direct from the issuer. And then if we're able to get tickers at that point, they can be traded online.
Got it. Thanks for the clarification there. Greg King is the CEO of Osprey Funds. Guys like him are seriously making access to crypto easier for everyone. For those that aren't about that Coinbase life, which is some advisors, a lot of advisors, for example, or a lot of high net worth investors. So products like these are needed, especially when there's no ETF out there yet. So Greg, thank you so much. I'm going to keep tabs on Osprey funds. I have been for a while. I want to know when you get tickers approved for those other products, and we'll have you back on to talk about it.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Spencer. Good to see you.
All right. Have a good one. All right, everyone. It's 1:20. We promised you that we would be doing trivia today. So I'm trying to fulfill that promise right now, but I can't do. I'm stuck here, so I don't really know what's happening right now. I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea. I know Rohan took a lot of gear with him, and he went away to go outside and set up a remote stream or something. I don't really know what's happening.
I'm here.
You're here?
Yeah.
Where are you?
Right at my desk.
I can't see you though.
I mean,
so Rohan, how are we gonna do this? What's the plan?
do you want to see?
Kind of.
What's up?
Oh damn! Yo, Aaron! Aaron!
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Aaron live from the hallway.
Breaking news. There's weather outside.
Awesome. Great to see you, AT. Outside the office. Wait, does AT, they're saying AT is muted. Rohan, they're saying AT has no volume.
Why would he have no volume if we can all hear him?
I don't know. Mitch, say something. They can't hear Aaron. This is why we do tests.
Hold on. What? I'm so confused.
Oh, the technical producer is confused. That's the last thing we
They're going
need.
through the master audio the same way we're all going through it. Wait, chat. So can you hear me?
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean we can hear you.
Yeah, we hear Aaron. That's the weird part.
Hold on. Let me check the stream.
Wait, you guys still hear me, right? Or no? All right. I want to know if everyone else still hears me. Oh lordy. So the impetus for this was that the impetus was that we're doing we're going to be doing this for our Cannabis Capital Conference, which is in a couple of months down in Florida. By the way, check that out. Benzinga. What's the URL again? It's thank you. bzcannabis.com. Something like that. So this is what we wanted to test the stuff out now. Nah. Aaron and Mitch you guys are basically on mute to the world. I hear you, which is so weird, but nobody else can hear you. So producer Rohan is figuring it out live as we speak.
I figured it out.
You figured it out.
Yeah.
Are we good?
Screwed us. It changed the auto-selected mic on me.
StreamYard.
So
The Roadcaster, which me and you were coming through on, was good. So I think a chat should hear us now, just fine.
Oh man.
Sorry about that, guys.
Give us a one in chat if you can hear me.
Yeah, they said perfect now. All right, we're back.
Let's go.
All right.
What's up, everybody? How's it going?
What's up, AT? What's up, Mitch?
What else going on, man? Let's do this thing.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Okay.
All right. Before we delay anymore, let's get this trivia going.
Yeah.
Now we have a successful remote stream. Even though the remote part wasn't even the issue, it was a very basic technical issue.
It was a basic. You know what it reminds me of the other day when I was in the blue room and I had no audio, and I was like, oh shit, and I was freaking out, and I go Rohan, and he runs in, and my mic wasn't turned on.
Yeah, we
Nice.
just press one button. That's all we do.
He flipped the switch.
That's our primary role here. We just usually click one button and we call it a day.
My microphone wasn't on. I felt like an idiot. Anyway,
Man,
wait, what?
Is this how AB is? Is that why I got to do this whole little lean to the right thing?
I fixed it for you. Calm down.
All right, wait. The theme is food. I'll read the first question. What fast food restaurant is credited with introducing the first modern-day drive-through window? 1 Wendy's, 2 McDonald's, 3 KFC, 4 Burger King. Put the number of the answer, the number 1, 2, 3, or 4, in the chat. That's how you play along.
I'm gonna go 2 because I watched The Founder. Right, that was a great movie. Michael Keaton killed
a good
it.
movie. Yes, it was great.
Well, I'm gonna go here with the Sanders. 3.
The Colonel.
The Colonel. Okay. I'm seeing mostly 2s. I went with 2 as well.
I went with Burger King. I don't know why, but it seems like they were like early to this thing, and then, not anymore. That's my theory.
I guess so. You could have it your way. So what if I wanted to drive in and get my food? They couldn't say no.
No love for Wendy's. All right, Neil Edwards. What?
Whoa.
Wendy's.
That's a twist.
Look at you go.
Didn't Neil Edwards congratulations, Neil Edwards, on getting that one, right? And Igor.
Wendy's.
Wow.
Hey, their spicy chicken nuggets go hard. So shout out Wendy's.
All right, today
Shout
we
out 4 for 4.
Wendy's.
Oh,
double
Yeah,
stacks
4 for
all
4
day.
is no joke.
All right, I'll take this question. What % of a potato is water? That's a
Water?
wonderful question that I have absolutely no clue what the answer to is. But you have to understand that a potato is mostly solid, right? So I
Wait.
feel like it's more solid than water.
Hold on, time out. Enver.
Yeah, but
Enver, no playing. Enver, you made
Yeah,
these
but-
questions.
I'm coming for that swag, cheating.
Swag.
But he could be messing with us. He could be putting in all fake answers.
Enver, don't
oh
test
no,
me.
the sun disappeared. I'm getting dark, Rohan.
Oh
We
god.
need some lighting over there, man.
Aaron, there's a scroll wheel on the back of the camera, just rotate that till you brighten up.
I don't know the answer to this one. What is it?
The
40?
flat one.
What is
the
it?
thumb
3?
wheel, or not the thumb wheel.
I'm gonna go 80%.
I went 3. I don't even know.
Bust out your camera phone light.
Enver.
There you go. That's good. That's good.
Enver. I'm not kidding, man.
80%? I might be
I was
delayed
gonna
to
say
that.
80. Let's go. I said 80%.
What is going on? How do these people know these things?
Dude, they're cheating. Mitch, they're cheating is the real answer here.
Well, the sun completely disappeared on me, so I'm going to take the next one. What is the oldest soft drink in the USA? Is it Pepsi? Is it Mountain Dew? Is it Dr. Pepper? Or is it Coca-Cola?
Ooh, I think I know this one. I'm
I'm
gonna go.
gonna guess Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna go with, Spencer. I'll go with that too.
The Dr. Pepper has
Pepper.
23 original flavors. I'm going to go with the Pepsi.
Ooh, what about the Dew?
I think the Pepsi Cola company had come to the game first.
Dang,
I think
Pepsi over
Mountain Dew
Coca-Cola?
could low key be it. It could be Mountain Dew. It could be any of these.
All right, low key. After
Thank you,
this,
Rohan.
Cole calculates the answers. Throw up if you like Pepsi over Coca-Cola. So either one or
I'll
4.
answer that right now. It's a big no.
Ooh,
Rohan, are we all
it's
good, man?
Coca-Cola.
Oh.
There you go, Dr.
Mitch, we got it.
Pepper.
Mitch, we got it.
Dr.
Spencer.
Pepper. Wow.
Good job, man. That was the right
When they
one.
say 23 original flavors, they had the 23 original flavors.
That's it. That's it.
All right, Mitch, I think this is yours.
All right. So, where were French fries invented? Are they French?
Ooh. Oh, wait. I actually have a pretty solid guess to this.
Actually, I think
I'm pretty.
this is-
I think it's Belgium.
I'm gonna go with Belgium.
That's
yeah,
what I put, yep.
Belgium.
Yeah.
Belgium.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
fries.
'cause
pretty
I-
hardcore in the fries over there, so.
Yeah, I had a cousin who did a student exchange program in Germany, and I think he told me something like that. So, just pulling out some old memories, some old data from my head, seeing if it's right.
I also
Coke
went with
one
Belgium.
for sure. Just to mention, I mean, everyone said Coke.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Coke over
Good.
Pepsi.
obviously.
Naturally. Yeah,
Naturally. Yeah.
You guys tried that new Coke Zero, though?
Yeah,
It's all
delicious.
It's not bad. It tastes kind of like Coke,
Coke Zero is
not
great.
gonna.
I
It's
love
not gonna
Coke
make me
Zero.
switch.
but not the original one. I'm talking about the one that just came out.
I don't know. Belgium.
Oh.
Boom. Okay. I think that was a
Very
unanimous win there.
nice.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh, that was
All right,
wrong
we
side.
got 2 more. Is that right? Or we got
Wrong
3
sound
more?
effect. Looks like we have. I don't know.
No one did French fries
We have-
and
all right,
mayonnaise.
3
though,
more.
What
right?
is the most
All right.
frequently ordered item at seafood restaurants? Tuna, shrimp, salmon, or crab? It's got to be shrimp.
Shrimp.
Oh shoot, I put salmon.
Telling me a shrimp
but
fried
like,
this
I
nice?
would say
No,
salmon.
it's definitely shrimp. I'm lying.
It's
Salmon
got-
is definitely close second, though. I'd say.
I demand a
We'll go with
source
salmon.
on this stat, on this fact.
You a
Enver's
shrimp guy,
recent-
Is this
Spencer?
Red Lobster?
based on Enver's recent visit to Red Lobster.
Right, exactly. Never mind. I was gonna make a joke, but never mind.
Let's hear it.
No, it's okay. So we got a variety of guesses here. We got everything that's guessed. And we got 1, 2, 3s, and 4s.
All over
Well,
the
I'm
board.
hoping it's shrimp. I'm hoping it's shrimp.
Jonathan Lovelace has a personal experience with
What's the most expensive on here?
It is
Let's
indeed
go.
shrimp.
shrimp. There we go.
Crab is the most expensive, though. I think.
Yeah, but depending on the tuna could be the most expensive.
Yeah, if you're talking like
Right.
Or
ahi
salmon.
tuna or something.
It depends on the
Ahi.
cut of the fish, right? It depends on the cut of the fish.
Yeah, that's all right. Who wants to read this one?
Which food is known to be the most stolen in the world? Is it pizza, folks? Is it ice cream? Is it hamburgers?
How
I
did
know
they
the
find
answer.
this out?
I'm gonna say cheese.
Wait,
So back in my college days, I'll say this right now.
You
Live
were a
confession.
cheese thief?
We would go to Kroger, right? We would go to the self checkout. I'd grab my sandwich stuff. I'd scan in my bread. I'd scan in my meats. But as I scanned in my meats, I would grab my cheese and I'd put it in the bag. You know, so like
Why are you just
self-checkout
outing yourself right
thief.
now?
I said it was just a
Don't
live
incriminate
confession.
yourself.
Self-checkout
I
thief
obviously
are
don't do
you.
it now. I can afford my own cheese, but I just want to say that's my reasoning behind my answer.
That
Go
was like
cheese.
really
Aaron stole
specific.
cheese in college.
I'm gonna say pizza. The slices.
Mitch, that's what I said. Pizza as well.
Shoot, I want to.
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
go
gonna say
cheese.
cheese. I'm gonna say cheese. Why not?
The cheese one. The cheese
I actually have a
story,
cheese.
man.
I have a funny cheese story where I accidentally walked out of a cheese store once, or sorry, a Kroger with like cheese sticks once, and had totally forgot to check out. So
Wow. Turns out
That's
Aaron
another
Thomas
personal
was a
It's not just
predictor.
me. It's not just me. Clearly, other people are doing this.
Clearly, man.
I had no idea.
Oh my
Oh, we have another question. All right, I'm gonna take it. When was the fast food chain McDonald's founded? Damn.
Ooh.
I can't recall this part of.
I'm gonna go 3.
The movie.
55. That's my answer.
No.
I want to say 72.
No.
I'm gonna go 72.
No.
It wasn't 70s.
I'm
No,
gonna say-
it's
it's
I'm-
maybe 67.
no,
I
it's
don't know.
4. I'm pretty
67.
sure it's 4 because the OG McDonald's, like the OG one before
Oh yeah,
Ray Kroc.
46.
I'm pretty sure it's old. Like the OG one was old. Was around for a while.
This is basing it purely on
No,
the
it
fact
says
that on
fast
the
food chain, not
in
the
the
original. It
movie-
says fast food chain.
This is
That's
unclear.
when I watched the movie, I remember him driving a car that was either from the 50s. Or
Yes,
60s.
yes, me too, Rohan.
Yeah, so that's
so
my
55, 55. All right,
55 or
50
67.
55 or 67.
Oh,
55. I like it.
Nice.
I like it.
Oh.
The process.
Good job,
Alright.
sir.
Damn, everyone. All right, so who won this round? Let's see.
Well, that's what we're about to find out. So
it wasn't
folks,
me.
Let's get a drum roll, please.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, I believe that's a new winner for us. Not one I've seen. So
Who is that?
congratulations.
It's pixelated for me.
It's Parte
Yeah, right?
Bonza.
You can't see it on our side.
Oh man, I'll send you
Hey.
guys better feeds next time. Sorry, it's like a default best connections.
Parte Bonza. Here's what you do.
Bonza.
Parte Bonza.
Email us. Email us. That's the email that's on the
Where
screen.
do they email, Spencer? Where do they email?
shows at benzinga.com. Put trivia in the title, please.
To claim your prize.
Claim your prize. That was fun.
Address and size.
Oh yeah, if you want us to
That
give,
too.
if you want us to
Include
give
that.
us your address and your shirt size, that would be ideal.
That's helpful. It's helpful.
Certainly. Well, this was a fun little test, and this is a good little game too, refreshing my food knowledge. I'm
We all
always
learn
hungry,
something.
so it's nice to think about food at all times. But yeah, and wireless joining in the live stream was a success, so that was cool as well. Nice.
Hey, thanks for
Speaking
doing
about
that,
Very
Ron.
food,
Aaron.
Of course.
I got some pizza to eat.
Good.
I have
Go
half
enjoy
a
your
Jimmy
pizza,
John
Mitch.
sub that I have to
I
eat.
have my next guest here anyway, so
All right.
go enjoy that
We'll-
pizza.
we'll get
Thank
outta
you,
here.
Rohan. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Mitch. Thanks to everyone for
Thanks,
playing
everyone.
ball
Have a
with
great
us.
weekend.
Aaron, you're so far away. Where is he? Anyway, okay.
Spencer.
Oh, he was gone. All right, let's bring on options Mike here. Let's bring it back to the market. Hope you guys had some fun. It's a weekly segment we do. We didn't do it. We didn't do it last week though, weirdly enough. But anyway, email us, shows@benzinga.com to whoever won that. Options Mike, do you have any feedback on our trivia segment just then?
I thought I was on the wrong site, man. I'm like, damn, do I have to go out and like bone up on my food knowledge and trivia here, or especially fast food? I'm like,
yeah, it's what we do here. Well, this is the thing, right? When on days when the market is like deeply in the red, we just want to like do other things. You know what I mean? We want to just talk about other stuff right now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Although I'm not like staring at charts right now. So now you're making me freak out for a second. Okay, thank you.
Lows, so
I don't have like the S&P in front of me like all the time during this show. Let's get that up on the screen though right now so we can see. All right, options, Mike. At a high level, where's your head at right now?
We are in the middle of a possible correction. We've corrected on the Qs. We have a 10% correction in process on the Qs. The NQs pull back and have given a correction, and the SPY 431.98. So we'll call it 432 is a 10% correction there, and we are in the process of getting our first correction since March of 2020. And
in the SPY, we've already had it in the Russell and the Qs.
Right.
Correction. Right, 10%.
Correction. 10% is a correction.
Right.
Anything else under that's a pullback.
Right.
Right. So we're in the process there.
So the SPY though has held up relatively better to those other two, but it doesn't look great here. So is that sort of where your head is at, where you're sort of just leaning on the short side right now, or are you trying to buy dips?
Actually, I've been just trading mostly to the long side, and just it's been a very tough short this market. You look like you're down, but the intraday action has been so choppy that it's been most people trying to short. They've been getting stopped out. They've been getting whipped around in this action with this big pop ups, and then look at yesterday. We pushed all the way back up to Wednesday's open, and then we rolled all the way over at the end of that. Very tough action.
That was brutal. That was brutal yesterday.
Very tough action here. The reason the SPY is holding up better is you're seeing really under the cover, Spencer, what's going on, and we've been talking about it for months, is a rotation. They want nothing to do with tech and growth. They're terrified of it here ahead of what the Fed is talking about. They're afraid that as the Fed removes liquidity and they start raising rates, that these companies are going to tank. And unfortunately, we're seeing all the good companies all put into the same basket with the bad companies, right? There's no differentiating right now between a good and a bad company. They're all kind of lumped together. And we're seeing a rotation into commodities, into value names, into materials, things you can hold, right? It's the inflation trade. They're going into safety, consumer staples. I mean, if you look at the charts on Philip Morris,
let's do it.
Look at this thing.
Cigarettes, baby.
Right? Safety name. Procter & Gamble, new all-time high today.
Wow. Right? Yeah. So, although it won't be an all-time closing high.
Not
likely,
but it did hit a new all-time high today.
Yeah, it did. Look at that.
And what they're doing here is, we're back to being in a stock pickers market. And that's what I keep telling everybody, is that this is not the same market you were used to. And if you've only been trading since 2020, right, and the 30% correction we got then with the pandemic, you've never experienced action like this, and you don't know what to do with it. What they're doing right now is they're going to reward good names. Procter & Gamble, great earnings, great guidance, being rewarded. Morgan Stanley, great earnings, great guidance, holding up so much better than the JP Morgans and the Goldman Sachs of the world in the same sector. They're going to reward the good names here. And this is what, everybody has to kind of get their head around, that this is not the same market you've been in, at least right now, and that will change. And again, growth will come back eventually. I'm a big believer that eventually they're not going to be able to resist, right? You're not going to make, these fund managers aren't going to make their money in the Procter & Gambles of the world and the Alcoas of the world. They're going to eventually need to get back into these growth names. But for right now, this is just not the place to be. That said, we held the 200-day today on the SPY, which was a big spot. My members and I, we talked about this morning. We went over this in detail. We said, we're very oversold. And I have a bunch of oscillators that I use. I can pull up the screen if you want to see them.
Yeah, actually, I do. I'm going to add some moving averages right now because I don't have any open on this chart.
If you got it, let me pull up
Average.
the screen here.
While
if I
he
get
does
the right
that, I'll do it on my
one.
end. I'll do 2 of them. I like the 50 day and the 200 day, so we're gonna do that.
You guys seeing
50
my
day.
screens now?
Yeah, I'm seeing it. One second.
Good.
50 day, 200 day on mine. Okay. Now,
All right.
let's get your charts up on the screen here.
All
What do we got?
So first of all, this is an oscillator. It's called the McClellan oscillator. This is for the New York, the NMIO teams for the New York Stock Exchange. And 0 is neutral. And for me, anything over 200, you're getting too hot, right? Too much, too hot. It's a risk-off environment, or look for a reversal. Anything under 200, you're starting to get to a good buy signal. If you look to the left, this is a couple years, you can see here's your pandemic all the way here on the far left. That was where we had that big bob come off of it. And you can see this tends to work very well. When you get too oversold, you tend to get a big lift in the market, right? Everybody too bearish, too fast. And you can see here, this morning, we had the first signal there. And then if you come up and you look at the same one, this is on the NASDAQ, the NASDAQ one. We were negative 289 this morning on the open. So we were looking for a bounce today. And for me, the right spot here was the 200-day on the SPY, because that's just a natural place where a lot of funds are going to try to defend it, because it's just a big spot. A lot of funds love to defend the 200-day moving average, at least initially. So what did we do? We came down, we broke below it. And if you switch to an intraday chart, and this is how we were making money today, you can see right here, you see this big hammer candle on the 5-minute chart?
Yes.
Right? Look at the tail on that. That was it. That was the sign to try some longs, not to hold forever, but just for a short 20, 30, 10-minute, whatever it is, bounce into the market. And look at that big lift we had off of it. They came in, they took back the 200-day, and you got this big, beautiful bounce here in the market.
So, okay, in that scenario, though, it does. Can you go back? It doesn't tell you that hammer candle may have been an entry indicator. What's your exit indicator?
Oops, I think I lost it. Did I? Hang on, I can rebuild it. Your exit is you always take profits. What I do is I'm always moving my stops up as I go along, and I'm taking profits along the way. And when I get stopped out, I get stopped out. Spencer, this is not a market you trifle with. And that's the one thing I would tell everybody here is you don't screw around with a market like this. You don't just sit in everything and think it's going to come back and keep going. You run your stops tight. If you get stopped out, you get stopped out, but at least you don't take a big hit. Paper cuts are fine. You don't want to get caught in a huge down move here. But when it came up here, it came up to yesterday's high, and that's where we failed. So that was a place to say, I'm not going to start new longs. So when you look at, yesterday's open. Was it? Yeah, yesterday's close. We came up to yesterday's close, and that's where we struggled at. And you can see it here on the daily chart. That's where we pushed up just a little bit above it, and that's where we started to have problems on it. So that's a place to take profits and wait to see if you can take it out. And other than a quick 5-minute candle where we burst above it, this candle right here, we came right back down. At this point, I said to everybody in the room, you should be out of your longs. You should be, maybe you want to short, you can try it here, but you should be out of your longs. We failed to be able to push higher. We had a breakout failure at that point.
Awesome. And then just for Christian again, what's the name of that indicator?
Of this one here? This year.
No. Yeah. That.
These are the McClellan oscillators. One is for the NASDAQ, one is for the New York Stock Exchange.
McClellan oscillator. Got that? Yeah. Okay, so let's and we can do some tickers in the chat if you guys have questions, drop them in for Mike here. But let's do let's run through. Can we look at different sectors here? We looked at staples already because they're strong. Can we look at technology? Can we look at other parts of the market?
Right. So you have a lot of weakness here, right? So let's start with the Qs, and we'll go down. Here's a 1-year chart on the Qs. You can see we broke below the 200-day yesterday, and we haven't sniffed it again. So you have this big weakness. The other thing to note on the Qs, we haven't made a new high since all the way back here on November 22nd, where the S&P 500 did. So this has been the weakest index now for going on the last 2 months, just about. Mm-hmm. All right. So we've lost this area. Now your next big test comes down here at the 350 level. This candle right here is a place you really are going to have to watch to hold, right? That becomes huge. You don't want to give this candle up here. If you go under the covers in this sector, there's carnage. Everybody keeps saying to me, when is Square a screaming buy? It'll let you know. Even though it's down to 120, it's just not.
You got to, okay, that's a great point you just brought up there. A lot of people, because we get asked this too, I'm sure just like you get asked every day, like a stock like Hood, a stock like Zoom, anything that's been going straight down. Moderna we get asked about a lot, right? When's the buy signal? When's the buy signal? Can I buy it now? Can I buy it now? You can buy it whenever you want, as long as you have a stop on the way down. You know what I mean? But how do you approach these stocks that are in free fall?
So first of all, shameless plug here. I have a 2022 list of names that can outperform that I've put out there that has 20 plus names that I think will do better than the market this year. A bunch of them have already run. A couple of the trades are over. ATVI was one of them. That trade's done, right? That thing got bought out on Monday. That trade's over. What you have to do, though, is most importantly, is you have to have a list of names you want to own when this is over. And you have to write them down. You have to put them in front of you. You should put whether you want stock or options, what stock, what options you want. So you don't want to be sitting here guessing. You want to know exactly what you want. And you don't have to buy it all at once. So, for example, I've been wanting Ford. I bought my first little bit of Ford stock today at the 50-day at 21 area. Is it a little lower from them? Yes. But I bought about 20% of what I ultimately want to own for the rest of the year. I'll buy a little bit more if it keeps coming down. I'm willing to go much more into it. What you really have to do is wait now for a change in market character. In the case of a name like Square, you see this yellow line, that's the 8-day moving average?
Mm-hmm.
You notice since all the way back here on November 17th, we have not closed above it. That is my fast moving average for me. Anything under that's a problem. We can't close above it, can we?
I'm sorry. What's the time frame on this chart?
This is a 1-year chart.
This is a daily?
This is a daily of Square.
Wait. Which line's the 8-day?
This gold one right in here coming down here.
Oh, I was looking at the green one for some reason. I was like, that ain't right. That's why I was confused. Okay.
Band off if that'll make it clearer for you.
No, I was looking at the wrong line. That's why that made no sense to me. So
there it is.
There we
nice
go.
And clean now. You can see
okay, that's clear. So yeah, the gold line, got it.
Yeah.
The one that is right overlapping with the candles. So we have not closed above that for 8 days.
Nope. We haven't closed above that since all the way back here on November 16th. All right. I mean, that's telling you that this is now trapped underneath that, and the momentum remains to the downside. So the first time I would even consider anything other than a day trade on Square to own would be a close above the 8-day moving average. The other thing is, I would, at this point on these names, I would wait for earnings, guys. This market is going to reward the names with not just good earnings, good guidance. You want companies that are profitable in this environment, and you want guidance to be great. So,
I hope you're right, Mike. I hope you're right there, although I'm not convinced.
Well, look at Netflix, right? If you had bought into this yesterday, thinking, right, you're in so much pain right now, you don't even know what to do with yourself down here, right? This is game over. Bad guidance. Their guidance was bad. I mean, bottom line, bad guidance.
It wasn't great. Right?
So you want to come looking at this. Everybody's like NVIDIA. Well, NVIDIA is in the process of getting slammed, and it has a couple of things, in my opinion, going on with it. One is, I have said from the day they announced the deal to acquire ARM, I never expected that to go through. I just don't think England's going to let their best tech company go into the hands of a United States company. So I think you're seeing that slowly unwound. And remember, a lot of this big run up here was created by that and a stock split, which fundamentally adds no value to the stock. It just makes it more affordable for people with smaller accounts. So you're seeing the unwinding of a lot of these trades here right now. Again, wait. They'll tell you when they want to be involved in this market. They'll tell you when they're ready. I mean, what are some names you guys want to look at? Go ahead, shout them out. Let's take some look.
Yeah, I saw. So the takeaway from that was that the 8-day moving average is Mike's signal, right? That's the takeaway from that conversation.
Or earnings.
Or earnings. I'm really like I hope you're right, Mike. But what I said yesterday before Netflix came out was like, if Netflix gives good numbers and the stock pops, I would be selling the crap out of that pop. Now we didn't get that, so we'll never know if I was right or wrong. But that I'm worried. Like what I don't want is to get some great numbers, great earnings, better guidance, and we can't hold gains. That would be a nightmare scenario to me. So
well, you may see that. Palantir did that last quarter. Great earnings, even better guidance, and they've been thrown into this. But they're turning a profit. I think they have to turn a profit. Snow was the same way. This market wants companies that are profitable. They want security. So there's so much negativity in this market right now, and there's not enough, to be honest with you. If you look at the CNN Fear and Greed Index, it's still in greed. And, go figure that out.
All right, I'm sorry. I don't like that index at all.
Sorry, you know what? But it is something that's been around for a long time that has actually been pretty good at times. It's showing what the overall retail sentiment of this market is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's saying that retail is still very bulled up, very, very greedy in this market.
When retail capitulates is when this time start buying. Okay, let's do some tickers in the chat. Let's look at Unity, a very popular name among the retail crowd. A name that is on my list. I have a list of things that I wouldn't quite call it a shopping list, but it's a list of names that I think are cool.
I'm long-term bullish Unity, and I think the Activision deal is very, very good news for Unity going forward.
Welcome back, Aaron.
Thank you.
Hey, Aaron.
Hi, Mike. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Well, I mean, the funny thing is Activision, that they get bought out, right? That was a great surprise on Monday morning. A wonderful thing.
That was bonkers. Oh man.
Right. But then they think every other gaming company is going to get bought out because Zynga got bought out a couple weeks before this, right? So now we've had two gaming companies in the last month or so that have been bought out. I think Unity is a good name. This is what we call a mountain trade, right? You go up one side of the mountain and you come back down the other side of the mountain, right? You can see it, right? It just looks like a mountain here. So there's a lot of charts that look like this: Affirm, Unity, UPST, right? TTD, all these names that were running before the market fell apart and holding it up. What you look on a name like this is where might it find support? Maybe it starts to find support somewhere here between this 115 and the, let's call it 92 area, 92 area, right? You get a support range. And maybe you start nibbling on your way down if you like it. Maybe if you're willing to have 500 shares, start buying 100 at a time. What else can you do with those calls is once you buy those shares, you can sell some calls against it if you're not sure. Take some profit in the meantime. Like it worked for you.
Yeah. And I think less too with the deal, why I saw the Activision deal as bullish for Unity. And again, I'm talking long term, not right now as a trade. It does look like the stock has some more room to fall, and the downtrend is clear and defined there. But it's just showing the value, especially that these big FANG stocks are assigning to these gaming companies, saying, "Hey, look, this is incredibly valuable to us." So I think it raises kind of the valuation in a way of all those companies, saying that this is what is at the top of the mind of the biggest companies in the world is how do we get into this video game space? How do we get into this, metaverse market? So again, this is a stock I like long term. For a short term trade, I'm not so high conviction.
No. Okay, well, let's do a few more here. We got only a few minutes left. Let's do Apple. Yeah,
sure.
Let's do Apple. That's a good one. Apple's a good one here.
Value stock.
Love Apple still long term.
Value-ish, I feel like.
I love Apple long term, but we lost the 50-day this week, right? That was our first signs that we're not well. This is a big name that couldn't hold the 50-day. We're now well below it. And so, for me, then you start watching here into this 157 area, or you wait until next Thursday, guys. What's next Thursday for Apple?
Earnings.
Here's the good news. If a company reports great earnings and great guidance, you can get in after it, and then it'll be ready to go. If a company is horrible guidance and you're in it beforehand, there's nothing you can do about it until at that point, right? You've already made your bet. So again, I would recommend wait for earnings, see how it reacts, see what they come out on it, see what it looks like, see what their guidance is, and then go from there. I mean, ultimately, I think Apple's probably positioned to go higher this year, later this year, when the rally resumes.
Airbnb. I'm long.
I like Airbnb. We talked about this last time.
Oh, I got to give you credit, Mike, because last time you were on, you gave us MRO at, I believe, $15, $16.
Yeah.
And it went up to about 20, a little 20% gain.
Yeah. Nice little move. Airbnb, I like it. You got to watch this 150-250 area, right? You can see all the touch points. Come in and put just hover your mouse over there. This is a big spot. Again, earnings are coming. The market's not trading well. This is tied in with growth here. So if growth keeps going down, this one likely is to get hammered some more. It becomes an absolute screaming buy if it got down here to 130 in my book.
Quickly, a few more. SoFi. No. I don't want to do SoFi. Fine, we'll do SoFi.
We'll do. This will be the last one.
We can do SoFi.
Whatever you want. Pick.
So let's do SoFi.
I love this name. This was on my list for this year of outperform names. Obviously, we got the news on Wednesday that they were
bullish.
Now. What's that?
Bullish.
That they're going to be a national bank in the United States. So last earnings report was fabulous. Great report, great guidance. The only thing I'll say about becoming a national bank, it's a little bit of a two-edged sword. They're going to make more money because they cut out the middleman, but they're also going to become under tighter regulation, which can be a little bit more daunting for them. Right. So for me, I like it at 14. Right now it went below it. It came back today. If the market goes lower, either buy it off the lows off an earning or buy it when it gets back above 14. Then I like it for a run back higher.
Options Mike, tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at Options Mike Guy or my website, smartoptiontrading.com. Guys, thanks for having me on. And for anybody out there struggling, take some patience, take a deep breath. The market will not last like this forever.
Breathe. Good idea.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Mike, have a great weekend. Look forward to the next time we get to have you on.
You guys too. Catch you next week.
All right, we got to wrap it up now, but before we do, we have to do a quick Super Bowl Squares plug. We got to do a favor for our friends upstairs. If you don't know what Super Bowl Squares are or boxes, some people call them boxes. I always call them boxes. I feel like maybe I'm in the minority there.
Squares.
They're squares. I guess it's just me. Go to the website or scan the QR code that's on the screen right now, rockingmortgagesquares.com. They're giving away 2 prizes of $500,000. This is for the Super Bowl, so you have some time. We're talking about like 3 weeks away from now. We got a little bit of time here, but enter to win up to $500,000 so that you can then go and lose all that money on YOLO weekly call options. Again, rockingmortgagesquares.com. Scan the QR code up on the screen. We'll be doing the contest. So
we will be.
That's all I got. You got anything else?
I did have something else, but it's escaping me right now.
Okay, that's fine. Hit the like button. Moon or Bust is coming up live next, guys. Seriously, if you're freaking out about crypto, then who better to talk to than Logan and Ryan? Or Ryan and
All
Logan?
I know, Spencer, is I'm a buyer of ETH at 2,800 all day, every day.
We
Give me some more.
We got to get their thoughts on this crypto meltdown.
Yeah.
It's a crypto winter, part 3.
Can you ask them for me? I'm about to sell my car so that I can, which I don't own, it's a lease, but I'm about to sell it so that I can put it on Ethereum and then hopefully buy the car back. Does that sound like a smart idea?
If you stake the Ethereum, get paid, right?
Okay.
Use that to buy the car back.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
All right.
Moon or Bust coming up live next. Hit the like button. We'll catch you guys on Monday. Well, actually, I'll see you. I forgot to
Also,
close.
this is kind of cute, Spencer. We're wearing the same shirt.
Oh, shh. That was weird. I didn't even notice that.
And the same laptop. Yeah. We were very matchy today.
Oh.
All right, guys.
All right.
We'll be back on Monday. Till then, happy trading, Zinger Nation. Stick around for Moon or Bust coming up right now. You don't need to go anywhere. This stream will automatically redirect you there. Spencer's already gone. Can someone end the... Hey, just peace.